Tyson Fury flies. There's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world, and if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences. That.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
This is Paul Hawks. Absolute chaos. Seconds before. Absolute chaos. All of our own making. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon? What's coming up, Charlie?
Coming up this afternoon over the next 3 hours, we'll find out what's going on with Chelsea and those 74 charges. We'll catch up with our man at Angie's first press conference as Forest manager. And Welsh rugby great George North joins us for a chat.
We also want real-world tales of club bias. Charlie brings us another baker's dozen. And Stoke supporting comedian Nick Hancock and writer Chris England will be popping in.
Yeah, very, very nice. There's all this. Plus, F1's Ted Kravitz is here to chat his new book.
Chat about it. I left the word about out there.
I think I'm quite going to chat his new book.
Yeah, chat.
I like it, Paul.
You like it, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Is his brother Lenny coming in? No. But former Al Ettifaq coach Michael Beale tells us whether Ivan Toney's right about a Saudi team being top 4 in the Premier League. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But let's find out what Michael thinks. And we'll bring you another birthday spread, of course, Paul.
We sure will. It is 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Paul. Very nice. B. I'm looking. Sometimes I come in. I think, yeah, it's going to be a nice show. There's a lot of stuff in the show today.
It's an eclectic.
It's a very. Sometimes I think, yeah, we'll have to do some work today.
Eclectic lineup.
It's going to be chatting to very good people about nice things and.
We've got George North coming on, chat about his book. Yes. A lot of it's been serialised, some fascinating stuff in there. He's taken. I mean, I was going to say head on. I didn't really mean it like that because he's talked a lot about concussion, something he'd not really wanted to talk about before. But we will chat to him about that and Welsh rugby and all manner of others.
Some player, yeah.
Absolutely. Ted Kravitz joins us. Ted's Notebook, of course.
Yeah.
King of the pit lane. Will be
King of the pit lane, yeah.
Chatting to Ted about
I broke into a pit lane. Not broke in.
You broke in?
So I didn't break in, Paul.
Okay.
I was at the Le Mans 24-hour race with my brother, and I had a Ferrari hat on and a red shirt.
Mm.
And
it was like access all areas.
I just walked through.
Really?
Just walked through past the security guys.
You didn't do it for that purpose. You did it as a kind of fashion thing.
I was like, this is the sort of way.
You weren't looking to blag your way.
Oh, not at all. No, but just had a go at walking past. Just walked past the security guys. Found myself in the pit lane.
Wow. That's not great for F1 security.
It wasn't F1. It was sports car, Le Mans, yeah. But then, of course, you feel quite dangerous, and you realise, I don't think I am supposed to be here. Actually, I could easily lose a leg.
Is when you found yourself 22 hours into a race, you realise it had all gone wrong.
I was backstage, and I didn't think I should be.
Now, one of the things I want to talk about today, I think, could be a bit of a rich scene. We'll find out, of course, over the next 2 and a bit hours. But there was, I think, there was a wrongful dismissal. Court case that went on, and the judge or somebody was complaining about sort of not feeling comfortable in a job.
Right.
I won't go into all the details now, but the judge was passing comment on it, and the reason I bring it up is that they were making the point about, culturally whether you kind of fit into an office environment or not, and some of the criteria for that.
Sure.
And the judge said, an example of this could be a small company where everybody who works in the office is an ardent supporter of our football club.
Oh, yeah.
And they decide to pick an Arsenal fan at interview over a similarly qualified Tottenham Hotspur season ticket holder because they do not want to damage the harmony of the office.
Okay.
The decision there would be lawful, said the judge, albeit taking the example to the extreme. Necessarily be good for business.
Well, I'm not hearing any extremes there. I'm just thinking.
No, but the idea that if it came down to two people who are perfectly
go for the gooner.
They'll go for the gooner.
Yeah, for harmony.
I don't know. I'm saying there must be some real world examples from the listener on club bias. I mean,
letting slip in a job interview.
I mean, it doesn't
of who you support is always a risky.
Yeah.
It's always risky, Paul.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
You're probably.
If I'm sat opposite an Exeter City fan.
Yeah.
Desperate, and I'm desperate for a job.
You're just going to say,
love the West Country.
Yeah. You're going to keep it vague, aren't you? I mean, it needn't be sporting. I remember when Dan Goldstein and I started 90 Minutes magazine, we were working just in a little room in Blackheath, and we needed help, and we were going to try and take somebody on. And we'd kind of, we'd have music in the background all day to try and work. This is about 1990, and I think we thought a bit of dance. Kiss FM kept us going. We were fueled by that. Other radios, but this is 1990.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe it wasn't quite as hardcore a station as it is now. I'm not saying I was down with the kids, but I kind of almost was a kid then, so nice. I can say. So anyway, the point is this: we were playing. That's what we used to have on in the background most of the time. And a guy came in for the job, and the music was there, and we said, do you want us to turn this off? He said, no, you're all right. I said, what sort of music do you like generally? He said, well, predominantly electric folk. And look, I don't mind a bit of electric folk.
It's fine.
In moderation.
Yeah.
But the idea that we'd be trying to get a weekly magazine out with All Around My Hat going on in the background.
If someone filled me with what's your favourite music and you say electric folk, then you're going to be heavy into electric folk. I mean, some electric folk is good.
It's quite specific.
Actually, I'm going to retract that statement.
Yeah.
Folk is good.
Yeah.
Electric folk is awful.
Oh, it's not.
It's awful.
Let's not go down that road.
Dreadful.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There we are. So what do we want from the...
it just struck me that sometimes you can have a bias. Maybe it can be sporting. You can have a bias.
Bias in an interview is lovely. Yeah,
suddenly someone's come in and you've thought, yeah, you know what? I don't think I can take that. Talksport.com, text 1889, tweet TS H&J. Max Scott, our resident Nottingham Forest fan and newsreader and broadcaster, has gone up to his beloved City ground because Ange Postecoglou will be unveiled officially at 1:30.
During the show,
we'll hear from Max later after it's all concluded. We'll bring you some prime cuts from Ange's presser. Before that, though, I think we're going to cross to Max now just to set the scene. Hello, Max.
Good afternoon, fellas. How are we? I'm here in a beautiful Nottingham, and we are awaiting the arrival of Ange Postecoglou for his first press conference with the media. Of course, he spoke to Forest's own socials yesterday. I'm actually stood in the dugout where he is replacing Nuno Espirito Santo, and fascinatingly, I mean, I don't know if you believe in pathetic fallacy, boys, but just before I came on air, there was biblical rainfall. It was a rumble of thunder, and whether that is a representative of a storm that Forest are going to bring in the Europa League, and Ange Postecoglou will become back-to-back Europa League Cup winner, the first ever manager to do it in 2 different clubs, remains to be seen. But fascinatingly, there is a big sort of Australian contingent in the media here keen to speak to Ange, who's obviously a bit of a cult hero over there. So very exciting times here at the City Ground, despite, I guess you would say, the sad but unsurprising departure of Nuno.
What's the sort of buzz generally? I'm sure you've been speaking to some of the other journalists, maybe some of the local guys. Is everybody feeling sort of pretty optimistic about Ange coming in?
I think that there is a lot of questions, but ultimately there's one thing that you can say about Ange Postecoglou, love him or hate him, is that he is a winner and he wins trophies. And he did that at Spurs when, he was getting a lot of criticism in the media about his style of football, and he went away and he did it. Mic drop moment, always win things in his second season. And so I think that there's certainly an optimism, certainly a hope from the hierarchy at the club that this is why he's been brought in, isn't it? He's been brought in because Forest have incredible ambition and they want to go and win trophies, namely this season, the Europa League. So looking forward to hearing what Ange has to say about that and about his ambitions to taking the club forward.
He will be prickly. I mean, I'm sure that the question will come up about can he change his style. I mean, he's talked a bit about that in the past, and he takes it as a bit of an insult that he's a one-trick pony. So I imagine there'll be sort of jokey Ange that we saw with the Moose many times in press conferences, and there'll be spiky Ange. So it should be lively. It should be interesting for you, Max.
Yeah, well, after the press conference, I'll let you know which end I got, and I hope that I can tap into a bit of the power of the Moose, and get some of that sort of joyful Ange that we did see at Spurs, of course. So looking forward to hearing from him. Looking forward to hearing about the ambition at the club, and as I say, stood here at the world famous City Ground on the banks of the River Trent, in Ange Postecoglou's dugout.
There we are.
Brilliant. Thank you, Max. Back to you later.
I like the way you
Cheers,
talk about
fellas.
Ange, Paul. It's like you're bringing out a series of action figures.
Yeah.
Like a spiky. This is spiky.
This is spiky Ange with real gripping hands. And then you've got a friendly, happy Ange with eyes that move.
Kamikaze Ange.
You
said that.
Kamikaze Ange. You get Kamikaze Ange, or you get Rorke's Drift Ange.
Yeah, you get all those ones.
But you don't really get anything in between. I think what Ange...
if you pull a string on the back, they all go, "Who we are, mate." Who we are, mate.
Yeah.
Who we are, mate.
What the Ange Postecoglou talking action figure?
It sounds like you're pitching that whenever you bring up.
So you pull the string and says, "No, I always win things in my second year." Yeah.
And that would be good. If people want to suggest stuff for the Ange.
And the face changes. The sides of the mouth drop or they go up.
Yeah,
depending on what.
Not actually that big, it says on the...
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
I think it's
now available in Greek and English. It'd be fantastic.
It's a lot.
If you pull it.
A lot. It's going to be good.
It's going to be interesting. It's still quite weird. It feels like he only left us about 5 minutes ago. Yeah. There he is back in another dugout.
Football's crackers, Paul. Nothing surprises you.
No. So anyway, we'll hear from Ange a little bit later on, and he's a bit like Madonna, isn't he, in Gaza? You don't even have to say the second name.
No, just Ange.
It's just Ange.
What other Anges do you know, though?
Just Ange.
Just Ange.
So, get in touch this afternoon. Letting that bias creep in. Do let us know if you've had examples. We brought you what that judge had to say. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. Another Baker's Dozen later. A birthday spread. Before that... Ray Boom Boom Mancini will join us from the world of boxing. The former WBA lightweight champion Canelo Crawford this weekend will cross to the States, get Ray's take on that. Chris England and Nick Hancock will be popping in. They're the hosts of the famous Sloping Pitch podcast. Chris is the writer, co-wrote Evening with Gary Lineker, of course.
Yeah.
We all know Nick from his work in TV, big Stoke fan, so the boy's going to be here. What else we got for you today? Michael Bill's going to join us. Yeah, Ivan Toney says... it's top level is the Saudi League, and he feels his team would be in and around fourth, making Champions League if they were a Premier League.
He's not trying to get into the England team at all, Paul.
Well, Michael Bill worked out there as a coach. He's still out there at the moment doing some work. Ted Kravitz from the world of F1. The great George North joining us for a chat. Roger Gracie, if you love your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, comes from a long line of great fighters.
Yeah.
His grandfather kind of more or less invented the modern version of the sport. So Roger's going to talk to us about working with Tom Hardy and Guy Ritchie and Henry Cavill and others to train them for movies and other matters besides. But we kick off with those 74 charges that Chelsea have been hit with. Kieran Maguire is going to try and explain what's going on and what it might mean. And the level of cynicism I think we all have as football fans around these issuing of charges. So that's all to come. We're here with, as always, with our good friends at Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Yes! Goal! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences. That.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Of course, however you watch telly, you can now watch talkSPORT from Samsung and LG TVs to Fire TV, Chromecast and Apple TV, or just grab the app on Android TV or Google TV.
Okay.
We're even on Prime Video. That's talkSPORT live on your screen as well as your speakers. Now, last couple of hours, it has emerged that Chelsea have been hit with 74 FA charges. That goes back to a period between 2009 and 2022 when Roman Abramovich owned the club. There are some potential sanctions there based on what we read. We thought we'd get some background to what it
they
might...
put their own hands up, haven't they? Todd Bowley's put his own hands up.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Well, look, Kieran, I'm sure Kieran will explain all. Kieran Maguire, football finance expert, one half of the Price is Football podcast, the excellent podcast with Kevin Day. Good afternoon, Kieran.
Hey, Kieran.
Afternoon, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah,
good. Thank you. Before we come on to any possible or likely punishments and the circumstances around it, what are these charges all about?
Well, when Todd Bowley and the Clearlake Group were in the process of buying Chelsea Football Club, they found a few unusual payments. So I think they withheld about £100 million from the agreed price. And they self-reported themselves to, I think, the FA and the Premier League. The main concerns was that there appeared to be some payments, in the view of Clearlake and Todd Bowley, that had effectively gone off book. And I think these relate to the signings of three players, Willian, Eden Hazard and Samuel Eto'o. And these aren't payments to players. The players have done absolutely nothing wrong, but unusual payments, perhaps to third parties. Was there an issue in terms of the intermediaries, the agents that they were going through? Who had authorised these payments? That appears to be unsure. And the directors who were at Chelsea at the time, they've mainly gone now. So I think the FA and the Premier League, who have kept quiet to date, but they are also monitoring this, that they've now made this step today in the charges relating to these transactions.
The fact that Clearlake did come forward and say, look, we found these, and they said in their statement they've been completely transparent with everybody around this, the new ownership, will that help them in the long run? I mean, I'm sure it'll play a part in any punishment that's handed down, but is there any other precedent like this, Kieran, we can think of?
Yes, I mean, if we take the case of Nottingham Forest, they cooperated with the Premier League when there was an investigation into a potential breach of PSR. We have seen other clubs. I think one of the Milan clubs, they reported themselves to UEFA a couple of years ago when they felt that there'd been a breach of PSR, and their banning from the competition was reduced from 2 years to 1 year. So it's a bit like if I do something wrong and I hand myself in at the police station, that will be deemed to be mitigation. That will be deemed to be part of cooperation, and that can reduce any potential later penalties, which will be concluded by some form of commission.
What would be your expectation here? Would it be a sort of hefty fine, a rap across the knuckles, or could you foresee a points deduction? You think it's unlikely to be something as draconian as that?
It'll be an interesting one in the sense that I think Chelsea and some other clubs have been fined for similar things in the past. Some of the critics of Chelsea will say that the club will have gained on the pitch if they've been able to keep within the PSR limit. Other people will say, well, this is a financial issue. It's to do with payments off book. It's to do with payments that the club itself wasn't aware of. So I think it's based on some of the allegations, and therefore a financial penalty would be more appropriate.
And there's no statute of limitations, obviously, or a situation where they say, well, look, this was a previous ownership. It's got nothing to do with us. It's still in the name of Chelsea, and it's as clear as that.
That's right. It's Chelsea Football Club who are the employer. So therefore, it's Chelsea Football Club that will be sanctioned rather than Chelsea Football Club under Roman Abramovich versus Chelsea Football Club versus Clearlake Capital. So if there are issues, and this would prevent, and this is the right thing, this would prevent a rogue owner simply selling the club on to somebody else, and that new owner therefore picks up a completely clean slate.
Is it clear yet, Kieran, if these were concealed payments or just reporting errors? And does that make a difference, do you know?
Well, I think what Clearlake believed to be the case is that there have been payments which have not gone through the normal books and they've not been reported to the football authorities. So I think it's far more serious than an accounting error, somebody not adding up the numbers correctly. We have to be very cautious what we can and cannot say, but Clearlake, they wouldn't have held back the money. And also, I don't think that the seller of the club, which was effectively the government, they wouldn't have accepted a deduction unless they believed that perhaps there was some credibility to Clearlake's claims.
I think there's a level of cynicism now amongst football fans that when you hear something like 74 charges, it's a bit like Dr. Evil saying, I want £1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're still behind City in the charges table. And although, again, in both cases, both clubs have denied any wrongdoing, most football fans think, well, what's going to happen? They'll get lawyered up, probably better lawyers than the FA and the Premier League have got, and they'll get a rap across the knuckles.
Also, a lot of the time, the punishment, if it's financial, doesn't seem to touch the sides a lot of the time. Transfer restriction sometimes hurts. Points would be the only way to really hurt a club, or demotion, I suppose. But that's obviously if it's deserving of that, given the circumstances. But still, do you understand what I mean, Kieran? I think in the end, people are kind of almost immune to this sort of stuff.
That's right. We all fell in love with football because we started off with jumpers for goalposts. We started off watching a World Cup match or match of the day or the big match or whatever it was going to be, or our uncle or our mum or whoever it was took us along to a match. And I think we have become jaundiced because this isn't the first time that it's happened. It happens in other countries as well. It's not unique to England, to the Premier League. And it's a function of the fact that we now have 2 or 3 more zeros in football than existed 25 or 30 years ago. And big money does give big temptations.
Yeah. Kieran, before we let you go, I saw a post by you and Kevin Day from the Price is Football podcast. Forgive me if I'm wrong about this. Are you doing a kind of a fundraising event, you and Kevin? Is that right?
That's right. I mean, the Premier League deserves a lot of credit. It's supporting the fact that yesterday was World Suicide Prevention Day, and it's acting along with suicide charities. Suicide's the biggest killer in this country for men and women under 35. It's the biggest killer of men under the age of 50. So we're doing a gig in November on behalf of Samaritans. All the money's going to that. And Brighton have been very good. They're letting us host it at the Amex. And we're hoping to raise a lot of money.
You're getting Kevin Day, Palace fan, into the Amex under a blanket, smuggled into the tradesman's.
We'll be doing his act next.
Yeah. Fantastic. Where can people find out? Is it on the Price's Football feed? Is it? We can find out the information.
Yeah, we'll be putting out details. We're just agreeing the ticket prices and I think the way that the tickets can be distributed. We're hoping to get a couple of decent guests as well for Kevin to spear, I think is the technical phrase from his point of view.
Great cause. Good luck with it. Thank you, Kieran. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kieran Maguire there, football finance expert, and the Price is Football.
So thanks, Kevin. It was thanks, Kieran.
Thanks, Kieran. Yeah, isn't it? I called Geraint Thomas Geraint Jones yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
Well, after he'd gone,
but
I think it was still there.
Good wicket.
I went too Welsh. We've got
double Wales,
which means obviously later on we'll have the great Welsh rugby legend George South joining us. No, George North is going to join us for a chat later on. Before that, Ray Boom Boom Mancini is going to join us. A man who had a song written in his honour.
Oh, very nice.
By the man who wrote Werewolves of London.
Oh, good. Yeah.
We'll play a bit of that.
No, I'd like to hear that.
Well, we talk boxing with Ray, including Canelo, Crawford, and Chris England and Nick Hancock will be popping in the next half hour as well. Interested to hear from you. talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J, 03717223344. Letting bias creep in, club bias.
Oh, yeah.
Creep into the real world.
My wife went into labour with our first child. She's a Celtic fan.
Yeah.
Got into delivery suite to find a male midwife with a Glaswegian accent. My wife asked him which team he supported. Rangers, he replied.
Yeah.
She shut up and got on with the job in hand.
So you got to be careful. talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J.
every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. Manchester United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. He'd averaged almost a goal every 2 games for Arsenal, but in his 45 matches for United, he only bagged 5. Next up, Radamel Falcao, dubbed El Tigre, or the Tiger. But at Old Trafford, he was a little more pussycat, to be honest. All the Colombian managed in 29 games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone worse for Jadon Sancho at United, with just 12 goals in 83 games. And it all ended after that very public spat with then-manager Erik ten Hag. Next, Ten Hag probably thought he was wise in sticking to what he knew when he brought in Antony from former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian has really not been able to hack it in the Prem. The curse of the famous number 7 shirt has also had its share of victims. As well as the aforementioned Sanchez, Memphis Depay found he couldn't follow in the footsteps of Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and Best. He netted just 7 in 53 appearances. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the title for over a decade, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Nice. And they're the Hurricane, of course, we think of when we think of songs about boxers.
There's a Chaz and Dave song called I have to look it up now.
Okay.
Chaz and Dave song.
Greatest Love of All was for Ali, wasn't it, really? Yeah, I believe so.
I'm going to have to...
Anyway, it's not often that a boxer gets a song named after them, but Boom Boom Mancini himself, Ray Mancini, is over here for a big night of boxing up in the Midlands. Joins us now. Hello, Ray.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Yeah, what about that? You get your own song.
Amazing.
How about that? Yeah. I mean, that was crazy when I got a call. I got a call by Chris Mancini, Henry Mancini's son, who was working for Island Records. It was the label at that time. He said, "You know Warren Zevon?" I said, "Warren Zevon, Lurid Wives of Money, Werewolves in London." Oh yeah, Warren Zevon was alternative before there was such a term.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
And I love Warren Zevon.
Yeah, it's great.
I love Warren Zevon. They said, "Well, he's a big fight fan of yours. He wrote a song about you.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?" I said, "That's wonderful. Can I hear it?" So anyhow, it was one. Yeah, it's great. It's
great. Yeah,
I'm very honored.
A great honour. Now, you're over here in Cannock, Stan Collymore country. You're up in Cannock for the Battle of the Midlands. Big night of boxing this Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Scott Murray's Excelsior Promotions is putting on the fights, and to me, they're the best promoters in the UK, because they put on action-packed fights, quality fights, well-matched fights all the time. You know, and they don't have very, very, very few times have any mismatches. And that's all you want to see is well-matched fights.
Yeah, definitely.
This one as the two main events, it would be called Munez Durang. I don't understand it right, but I'm killing Munez Durang from Nepal and Ollie Cooper, local guy. So Ollie Cooper. So, you know, and then there's 6 other fights, or might be other more fights. But it's a lot of fights. But again, all of them are matched well.
Yeah.
We're going to Ray, we're going to try and get you. We are struggling a bit with the line. We're going to try and get you back, Ray, if we can, on a slightly better line, because it's proven a little bit difficult. So we'll try and go back to Ray in a few moments' time. He's the former WBA lightweight world champion, but we'll try and get back to Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Yeah,
I think from now on maybe we'll call you Charlie
Boom Baker.
It wouldn't take much.
You called me yesterday. We drags that lowers the tone.
Yeah, Charlie, that's your podcast, your new podcast. Charlie Baker lowers the tone.
There's a song called Wallop by Chaz and Dave, but that's not the one I meant.
No, okay.
There's another
about a boxer.
There's Wallop.
I'd be surprised. I thought there would have been one about Henry Cooper.
No, there's one. There's a different one. I wish I could remember it. I shouldn't have brought it up now because I can't remember.
It's doing your head in now.
Remember
gone down that particular rabbit hole.
Chaz and Dave. I'm googling it.
Chaz and Dave. Yeah,
man.
Chaz and Dave. Yeah,
Chaz and Dave.
Yeah.
Song about boxer.
Is that what you're putting in Chat GPT?
Hello, lads.
Yeah. I love the Beavers. Yeah.
We're getting him back, are we?
I mean, we're trying. I mean, we were.
He sounds like a proper boxer.
He did, but it was like an old school US boxer with a bit of Norman Collier thrown in. So we're just trying to strip out the Norman Collier aspect.
It's some bias stories in the meantime.
Yes,
Paul.
have some bias. Yeah.
My 2 brothers who are builders went to a house to do some work, and the man opened the door, and this is no good. This is when you get taxed, isn't it?
Yeah.
The man opened the door and asked them, "Before I let you in, what team do you support?"
Oh, that's not a good idea. Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get a builder as well? Yeah. You know, both said Walsall. He said that's good because if you were Birmingham City, you wouldn't have even got past the front door. He's a staunch Villa fan. Would not deal with Birmingham.
Maybe
City
on Checker Trade you should.
Yes, that's a good idea.
You should have team supported.
Yes, team supported.
So you can strip out
colours worn.
Yeah.
Mugs selected. Yeah,
I've had the enemy in my house doing jobs.
You don't mind it?
No, I mean, of course not. Not really. I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? It's not like I wouldn't, it's happened before. I mean, it's very difficult living in sort of North London and not encountering Arsenal fans that are tradespeople. There's plenty of them.
A friend of mine, this is from John, friend of mine is a Pompey fan, refused to do jury service as the bloke was from Southampton.
Ah.
And he refused to do it because he said he would make him guilty before the case even started.
You know what? That is a really interesting point. The springboard for this was this legal judgment and the judge saying that if it was an office full of Arsenal fans and a Tottenham Hotspur season ticket holder came in to get a job, you could argue you wouldn't give them the job because they would upset the harmony of the office. That was the springboard for this a little while ago. So it's true. I mean, if you are a sort of rabid Pompey fan or whatever, and it's someone you're just going to guilty. Well, I've not heard the evidence yet. I don't need to hear
I don't need to see the VAR.
I wonder. I mean, I would imagine a judge would tell you to grow up if you presented that as a reason not to do it.
That judge thinks it's
maybe,
okay.
Maybe that sets some kind of legal precedent. Anyway, we are struggling to get back to Ray. We'll try a little bit.
But Cannock Chase Sports Centre on Saturday night. Paul, still tickets available. No ringside of it. I see that's all sold out, the ringside.
Yeah, Niall Berry is in action, super bantamweight prospect. And there are 2. I think we have got Ray back.
Oh, good.
Slightly better line. Hello, Ray. I think we've got you back.
Yes.
Good stuff,
back.
Ray.
Oh, that's good. Because we wanted to talk to you beyond the big night in Cannock. Wanted to talk to you about Canelo Crawford, the big fight at the weekend. Yes. And how do you see that one? It is a fascinating matchup, isn't it?
Look, it is. I admire Terence Crawford for taking the challenging. You can admire the move. Two weight classes.
I'd say
Ray will leave it.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry,
you very
Ray.
much.
I do apologise.
Thank you very much.
We are really struggling with Ray's line. Apologies for that. But as we said, big night of boxing in Cannock. Spencer Oliver's on commentary duty, as is the former WBA lightweight world champion Ray Boom Boom Mancini, who we we heard in passing.
Paddy, the Chelsea fan's been in touch. The song, Chaz and Dave's song, is Punchy and the Warbler. It's a beautiful
it's a
song.
good song, yeah.
It's like a ballad. Maybe we'll find it. Maybe we'll
have a listen later. Maybe songs about boxers. Maybe we can. We'll play some throughout the show today. We'll have a bit of the Hurricane. That's a great song, the Bob Dylan song. So anyway, we're going to hear later on from Max Scott, our resident Nottingham Forest fan, journalist and broadcaster who has gone up to the City Ground today. And he'll give us a debrief on the full...
He was next to the pitch a minute ago.
He was, yeah.
He hadn't been on.
He'll give us the full Ange press conference debrief. But we can bring you the opening salvos from Ange's press conference today at Forest.
It's the nature of football. You guess you don't really know what circumstance you'll take over. You're absolutely right. I think when you look at the job Nuno did... over the last couple of years, and to be fair, Steve Coops before that, because when Coops came to the club, they weren't looking like they were going to be in the Premier League very quickly. So, they've had two excellent managers who have done fantastic work, and like I said, sometimes you don't know when these things will end. I certainly didn't expect to finish up after winning a trophy either. So that's just the nature of football.
Oh, okay. A little bit salty there.
Bit of salt there, was there, Paul?
I think there was.
Thrown back.
A little bit of an edge when not for
I
the
don't
fans.
blame him,
No,
he's got every right. He's got every right to, isn't he?
He's got every right to hit back. Personally, I thought it was the right decision, but what do I know? I just pays me money and watch.
The proof will be in the pudding. I'm
will.
not calling him a pudding.
No. No, I appreciate that, Charlie. Chris England and Nick Hancock popping in. They have their own podcast, The Famous Sloping Pitch. We'll talk a bit of Stoke. It's going well for
very good for Stoke.
Nick.
Yeah, very
it's
nice.
Not often we speak to Nick and it's going well for Stoke, but it is. Mark Robins doing a fine job. Could this be the year? And Chris had just written a play. Really interesting. People of a certain vintage will remember Charlie Williams, the comedian. Yeah. Charlie, in a life before comedy, was professional footballer, played amongst others for Doncaster Rovers, and a new play that Chris has written about his life. So the boys will be in a few moments' time. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Fire. Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We are joined by two men now who we got loads to talk about.
Yeah.
Podcast, plays, Gary Lineker in various guises, various vintages.
We're not Gary Lineker.
No, it's not. No, we couldn't afford Gary Lineker. Too busy polishing his awards today.
Yeah, absolutely, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've not done that before.
We're joined by Chris England and Nick Hancock. Good afternoon, guys. Good to see you both. We just get you in on the mics a bit closer if we can. Thank you very much. Yeah, Nick, as I said, we saw, I mean, you co-wrote an evening with Gary Lineker, Chris,
I did
and
years
which
and years
Gary
ago.
cameoed in. You worked with Gary for many years on They Think It's All Over.
Yeah. And it was also in an evening with Gary Lineker.
And an evening with Gary Lineker, of course.
On stage.
On
stage for the best part of a year.
So,
and playing a part that was basically written half for him and half about him.
Yeah, I've got to play a Stoke fan, would you believe?
Yeah. And there he is winning the Anton Deck Award, seizing off him after 23
We're
years.
very proud. Yeah. I liked it that Anton Deck had won it for 23 years, and now so that it's an odd number. So they can have 11 each, and then they have to fight over the last one.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah.
They must have been thinking, the only way to settle this dispute is to win another one.
Yeah. I think Gianni Infantino's probably going to give it to Donald Trump.
I think,
It usually happens.
He'll win the National TV Award next year.
Yeah.
Best performance in a soap he'll get as well, I would imagine, if Infantino's got anything to do with it.
Well, yeah.
Maybe let's kick off talking about the play, Ayot Me Old Flowers, which is about Charlie Williams.
It is. It's the story of Charlie Williams, the footballer turned comedian. Footballer in the 50s and up to the early 60s. And then he became a comedian through the 60s and was the breakout star of The Comedians, the ITV show in the early 70s. And then became like the first well-known household name black comedian.
Yeah, and really a pioneer in the world of football, considering he was playing football in the 50s.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think at the time there were only one or two black players.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie's life is an interesting life because he was basically a black lad growing up in a white man's world, and his father was from Barbados and ended up here after fighting in the World War One. So his father had fought at the Somme and then settled in Yorkshire.
Goodness.
So at the end, after World War One. So he predates, and Charlie was born in Yorkshire in 1927. So they predate the big influx of people from the Caribbean, the Windrush thing in the 40s. So when they arrived, he was already here. He'd already been, the only black kid in his school, the only black lad down the mine, one of the only black professional footballers, and then ultimately the first very successful black comedian. So,
and his act, I mean, his act, with respect, doesn't always stand the test of time. It's the thing Lenny Henry's talked about before, being a black comedian, a white man.
Had grown up, all his school friends were white, and all his people he worked with were white, and so they had the same sense of humour, and he'd lived that life. He was talking about things they all had in common.
Yeah,
sure.
I remember watching him on television, when I was a young kid, and the thing that really blew your mind was the fact he had this broad Yorkshire accent.
Yeah.
You know, which I mean, you know, of course he did. He was born in Yorkshire. He grew up in Barnsley.
Exactly. And he used to come on and go, "That's right, Mrs. Right accent, wrong colour."
Yeah,
you know. And it was
the old flower was very much his catchphrase, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, he used to come on and go, "Hey up, me old flowers," and that was the that was his.
So it's where can we see it at the moment?
It's
Chris?
on at the White Bear, which is a pub theatre in Kennington.
Yeah,
and you know it's. Annoyingly, this week we've opened up. This week, it's very handy for the tube.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's good. This week. Yeah. Great.
But after today, that will become handy.
And how long's the run for?
It runs to the end of this week and then next week.
Okay.
And how was the casting process in that? Because did you have someone in mind, or did you?
Yes, actually. I mean,
because it's a two-hander.
It's a two-hander. That's right. And Charlie Williams is played by Tony Marshall, who was a long-standing favourite character on Casualty.
Yeah.
And but years and years ago, Nick and I devised a thing called Bostock's Cup, which was a spoof football documentary that was on ITV in, when was that? 98, long time ago.
Ooh, a long time.
Tony was in that, played a character in that who was a ringer brought in, who was a Brazilian player who was brought in and persuaded to play for the minnows in our cup run story. Because he was a big fan of Charlie Williams, but it was the only English phrase he could say was "Hey up me old flowers," and so he has like 4 or 5 lines in Bostock's Cup, and they're all "Hey up me old flowers." And so since then, I mean, Tony's an old friend of mine. We talked about one day we'll do a Charlie Williams thing.
Yeah.
One day, we'll get it together, and then 20 years later there was COVID, and I had nothing else to do, so I wrote it.
Play, yeah, great. Good
so as far as the casting is concerned, I kind of wrote it for and with Tony.
Yeah. One of the things you did, we're talking about documentaries, you with our friend, the late great Andy Smart, Nick, was around the Iranian team.
Yeah,
at the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still keep an eye on how they're getting on in World Cup?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, my wife was Iranian, so I've obviously have some skin in the game, as they say, and therefore clearly my kids are half Iranian. So when the World Cup comes around, Iran and last time, of course, they were in the same group as us.
Yeah,
and again in the same group as the US, which was the famous game in '98 that Andy and I were over there for when they beat the US 2-1, and it was a great thing. It was a really good thing to do. I mean, Andy, as you know, God bless him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great company anyway. But if you're going to go to somewhere like Tehran, you want to be with somebody like Andy, really, who just somehow charms his way through any situation.
Yeah.
And he was great. And we ended up giving Steely, who scored the winning goal against the US, we gave him a lift to the airport. But not only a lift to the airport, in his uncle's flatbed truck, and we had to sit in the back with his bags that he'd packed himself with his mum. And just thinking, if 2 Iranian comedians had been in England doing a documentary and had taken Beckham to the airport on the back of a truck, having his mum having packed his bag for him. It was just something lovely about it.
I should know, have they qualified already for the next one? They're there. They're back.
Yeah, but
I think, isn't it that everybody has qualified?
I think they have,
Nearly. Isn't it nearly every country in the world?
It does feel
well,
like.
and then we're just waiting for Donald Trump to insist that Russia can play. Despite the fact they haven't even been in the qualifiers.
I think there are already more countries qualified than Donald Trump has heard of.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah.
That's some half and half scarf, Iran and Stoke City.
Yeah.
Is that what you've sorted out? Or where's Rafa on a Saturday night? They're all Hanley.
Well, it depends, I think.
Tehranly.
Tehranly. Yeah, no. I would love to have a half and half scarf if I could bear the idea of ever having a half and half scarf.
This is what your podcast is about. This is what I was trying to smoothly get into.
Well, basically, I think we've both agreed, Nick and I, that we would only ever have a half and half scarf at the point where we have half and half necks. So, it doesn't seem to be a point to it until that day.
So the sloping pitch is
the
your
famous
podcast.
sloping pitch, which also comes from Bostock's Cup.
Okay.
Our little logo is a still from the sloping pitch of
Chris is just showing how little creativity he has, that in fact everything he does is just a bit of something else.
Oh, I did in 1998.
Oh, right.
Which was also when Nick and Andy Smart did that thing. So
Yeah, of course, that's
so
right.
we've basically stood still for
and
the main sloping pitch was Barnet, of course, wasn't it? Which is
Yeovil.
Oh, that was the one. See, Barnet in my head.
And also Hibernian.
Yeovil's still there.
Since we've been doing the famous sloping pitch, so many clubs, people say, "Oh no, the famous sloping pitch is here."
Okay.
Because Yeovil was like one end. It was like being in Bolivia. You're playing at altitude, and when you change ends, you're a bit woozy.
So you had an advantage depending on which end you warmed up.
Exactly. Oldham Athletic, your team.
That's my team, yes.
You've been yo-yoing round the bottom of League Two.
So far.
Early days.
It's not a very effective yo-yo, to be honest. It's been between 16th and 19th.
Okay.
It's more of a sort of low-level frisbee.
Yeah.
Surely you can't use yo-yoing until Christmas.
No, you can't. No.
That's the tradition.
I think really, if you're going to think of yourself as a yo-yo club, you have to move between divisions more often than we have in the last 34 years.
Sure. And Nick, Stoke, third at the moment under Mark Robbins, going quite well. But it's typical of you when I say, he said, but if we lose to Birmingham, we could, you can't, you've got to be positive, Nick.
Yeah, but don't forget, in any given season, the best part of 88 clubs will fail. So, you bear that in mind. 86 maybe.
So it's nice to have company.
Yeah. And generally, that's what we do. So it always feels a bit like that. And of course, all football fans are at heart pessimists unless they just don't understand what's going on at all.
No, that's right.
All support Arsenal or something like that.
Which is the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fellas, lovely to see you.
And
Thank you for coming in. The famous Sloping Pitch podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, and Out Me Old Flowers. There is a sort of dedicated page to it of all the details of the show, isn't there?
Yes, if you go to the White Bear Theatre website, yes, there's all that. There's a lot more information there.
Good stuff.
And we're on for another week and a half.
Brilliant. Good to see you both. Thanks for coming in. There we are. Chris England and Nick Hancock there. Ted Kravitz from the world of F1 popping in to see us very shortly. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT.
payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your latest sport headlines, I'm Matt Hutchinson. The FA has charged Chelsea with 74 alleged rule breaches over payments to agents. That's during the Roman Abramovich era. Some of those payments relate to the signings of Eden Hazard, Willian and Samuel Eto'o. talkSPORT's Simon Jordan says the club's self-reporting of the issue will count in their favour.
There will be mitigation because they're not defending it. They're the ones that brought it to their attention and they're not pushing back against it. So what will the consequences be? I would assume financial.
Will the club have until the 19th of September to respond? Elsewhere this lunchtime, Ange Postecoglou has spoken to the press for the first time since being appointed at Forest. And in terms of his spiel, he's picked up from where he left off.
That's what I want to do. I want to win trophies. That's what I've done my whole career.
Cheers.
What I've seen over the last few years is since the president took over the club is that those ambitions are backed up with actions.
You can hear his first game in charge, of course, live right here on talkSPORT. That's at Arsenal this Saturday at lunchtime. Former Premier League referee David Coote has pleaded not guilty to making an indecent image of a child. The 43-year-old is due back in court next month. And following Thomas Tuchel's apology for referring to some of Jude Bellingham's behaviour as repulsive, Jermaine Defoe has compared the way Bellingham plays to Henry and Rooney.
I remember when Wazza was young, and he sort of played with that fire. But I think if you take that away from him, if you took that away from him, you're a completely different player. Thierry Henry had to play angry. You listen to Thierry speak, and he said, I had to play angry to get the best out of myself.
There's plenty more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The UK ambassador to the States has been sacked after his leaked emails to paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And the US Vice President is heading to Utah, where Donald Trump ally Charlie Kirk was shot dead last night. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With our wide range of services on offer, including tyres, MOTs, servicing and brakes, you can drive away happy every time.
We're expecting a mix of sunny spells and showers over the next few hours, turning heavy and thundery in Western England and Wales.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're in hour 2 of the show. Max Scott's going to join us. He's been listening to Ange Postecoglou's first press conference as the Nottingham Forest manager unfold. He'll bring us some more highlights. We brought you a couple of little bits of it so far, but a little bit salty about Spurs and the fact they let him go. But more on that later. And we'll have a baker's dozen and all manner of other things. Michael Beale joining us to see whether Ivan Toney's comments that a top Saudi team would finish top 4 in the Premier League stacks up. Of course, Michael is still out there, and he was assistant manager of Al Ettifaq for a while with Steven Gerrard. But before that, we enter the world of Formula One, a very familiar face and voice from the world of Formula One, Ted Kravitz.
Yeah.
I say the king of the pits, but that sounds like a terrible thing to be called.
The pits himself.
Yeah, that's right. F1 Insider notes from the pit lane. Good afternoon, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back in our radio studios.
Oh, yeah.
Where I first started.
Oh,
but
good.
talking sport on the air, which is kind of my day job as well. So
you had no shortage of war stories, really, from so many years of broadcasting with so many sort of great broadcasters and drivers and characters. From
you got my Capital FM press card in the.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. Giving away my age. It's not good. But that's where it all started. Yeah, for me in radio, that was my first love.
So, why now? You kind of felt this was the time, was it, to sort of tell the story?
I think there's no point doing a book unless you're, a world champion or you've won 5 gold medals after 10 years in the game. Yeah. So I had to wait for almost 30 years to have enough material in there, really, to sort of to fill a book. But no, I felt that there was. This is the 75th year of Formula One. We're ahead of a big rule change next year, and I was aware that everybody knows the stories of the last sort of 25, 30 years. There's no surprise to the stories in there. There's Abu Dhabi 21, there's the 6-car race, Indianapolis 2005, there's the fairy tale year of Brawn Grand Prix with Jenson Button, there's Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel. All those stories are known. What's not known is the behind-the-scenes details that I observed from the pit lane. There aren't too many people who do my job, and having done it for 23, 24 years, there are lots of details that I observed in that position that I was able to bring some more detail and understanding to those stories, which is what I put in the book.
It often means you can't watch the races, though.
I don't watch the race, which is a shame because I enjoyed.
Never seen a race.
I enjoyed watching the races. And now the first time I get the chance to watch the race is on a Monday morning, or on the bus to the airport. So I miss watching the Grand Prix.
What I think you're particularly good at, Ted, is speaking to quite a lot of Formula One drivers and hearing them interviewed by other people. Often it's because they're working in their second or their third language. They're great drivers. They're great technical drivers. They're not always the greatest personalities, but you seem to be able to pull personality out of them and pull stories out of them. What's your technique?
Well, that was a trick I learned from Michael Schumacher. So the media side of Formula One, like I guess all sports people, it's not something that's going to get them an extra goal. They're not going to get an extra run by doing a good interview.
Okay,
They're not going to get a better lap time by doing a good interview. It won't help them go quicker. What it will do is connect them with their audience and give them better fans, maybe, or give them some insight, some information on their rivals, or maybe put a story out there that destabilizes a rival, something Nico Rosberg tried to do in 2016 against Lewis Hamilton. So what you want to do to keep it fresh is to give them a question that they're not expecting or a different question from any other reporter. So that's what I try to do. Michael Schumacher taught me that. Great advice I got from James Allen, who did the pit reporter's job before me. He said, look, Michael demands excellence from everybody in his professional life. That includes journalists. And if you just put him with a duff question, or what are your targets for this weekend, he'll say, to win.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, not only, I was expecting more from you there, Michael.
Yeah.
Or it will give you go back and you give that interview to your editor. And they'll say, was that all you got? So you have to think very careful about your questions. So that's what I do. Lesson that I taught was learned from Michael Schumacher is think carefully about your questions. Like all of us journalists, we have to do that. But then make it different from what they've just had, so you get a fresh answer for your viewer, or your listener, which is effectively what you're doing.
Yeah. Do you think the younger drivers coming through have a bit more of an eye to that? In this sort of drive to survive age, you think they're a bit more media? So we had Ollie Behrman on the other week. He was brilliant. Really interesting chat with him. And you're obviously dealing with him in high pressure moments, so that kind of changes the dynamic as well, doesn't it?
And maybe that's a result of having to do more with social media as well. But that's a double-edged sword, with the social media. There are very few sports that demand so much from their participants in terms of it's a 4-day event. There's a media day on a Thursday, then there's practice on a Friday, qualifying on a Saturday, race on a Sunday. They've got to be perfect in all of those days and explain themselves away. And if they're not perfect on one single day or one session, you can get slammed on social media, and it must be tough for them, the likes of Ollie Behrman. If he has a bad race or, something happens. I mean, he got a penalty at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, got a penalty for that. And, he'll have his own team to deal with, and then he'll have all the, the flack he gets on social media. So they're in really difficult positions, the young drivers. It's amazing how well they do deal with it, actually.
You mentioned Schumacher there. You interviewed and been around a lot of the greats, not all the greats, obviously, but a lot of the greats of last 30 years. What's the difference when you look in their eyes? Is there a difference with the ones that really make it and can really step up?
Yeah, it's an intensity of focus, and it's a freeing themselves not to get too mentally bogged down in all the stuff that doesn't matter. And actually, the person who does that best is Max Verstappen at the moment. There are only two things he's interested in, and that's racing and then his family life away from the house. Got a new daughter, young baby Lily, and that's the only thing he's interested. He's not going out there trying to hawk around selling luggage or fragrances or anything like that. All right, he'll do the sponsors.
They all get the watching
commitments. The watching,
they're good at getting the watching.
but he's not interested in all the trappings. That he just wants to race, race anything. And when he's not racing cars, he's doing sim racing, gaming, and he's interested in his family. And that freeing up of all that mental clutter and just focusing on what's important is really the sort of signature of all of those champions. Schumacher was the same, Vettel to a certain extent, and Lewis as well. Lewis's focus through the weekend is incredible.
Now, you've been doing this for so long said you've seen whole drivers' careers come and go. Watch them in their first race, then watch them in their last race. So we're watching Lewis Hamilton now at Ferrari, finding it pretty tough. So, I mean, what's your read on that? Do you think he can come good in a Ferrari, or do you think he may be getting to that stage where he thinks enough is enough?
In some ways, this occurred to me a couple of races ago, that his greatest achievement at Ferrari might be getting that team into championship winning shape, but it might be for someone else. You know, he's 40 now. There's nothing to say that he can't carry on. Fernando Alonso is 3-4 years older than him and is still knocking it out the park for Aston Martin. So there's nothing to say Lewis can't carry on. But I think he's realised since he's gone to Ferrari, there are several things that need to be checked. In his words, that he produces these documents. You might have seen a couple of months ago. I've got documents that I give to the team about how they can improve in certain areas, bring them up to what Lewis sees as the cutting edge standard. And he will do that. And it chimes with what Charles Leclerc has been saying, which has been good for Leclerc as well, in getting Ferrari, who do things in a different way, says Hamilton, but getting them to be championship contenders as well. So that might take, you know, they tend to be sort of shipping containers, some of these F1 teams. It takes a while for them to do a turning circle, and it might take a couple of years, by which time, who knows, Lewis would have won a few more races. Will he win an 8th world championship? That's an open question.
Well, he did, Ted.
Well, he did.
He did win an 8th one.
Yeah.
Completely robbed of it.
Do you think, I mean, you're talking about that attention to detail and just how invested he is and doing reports for Ferrari.
Yeah.
What do you see him doing? I mean, he's got enough money to walk away and indulge himself and everything. You know, he's interested in lots and lots of things but it sounds like, could he have his own team? Will he stay involved, do you think?
He could do. I mean, that was the point about Abu Dhabi 2021, that it does get its own chapter in there. Good. So I hope it satisfies. But the point is that he refers to his career as his masterpiece. It's my masterpiece. I'll decide when it's over.
Yeah.
You know, or when it's finished. When I finished it. And so none of us know what that's going to be. Will it be getting Ferrari into championship shape again? Will it be winning races or another championship for Ferrari? Will he still be in it? His contract runs to the end of next year. There will be a discussion after that. It's difficult to see who they get now who would be a natural replacement. I mean, they've got Ollie Behrman. He's a young Ferrari driver, but you know, you'd still want the experience of a 7-time champion in there. And so it's difficult to see where they go. But I can see him as a team boss.
Team owner, yeah.
Very much. Just finally, a quick one on the current title race. It's quite nice, isn't it? I mean, we've had a lot of narc over the years among drivers going for the title, but Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri seem to sort of get. It's quite a nice title race. They're both in the same team. They both seem quite happy to wave each other through when the knee.
On you go.
Are we after that? I mean, some people have said, you know, what's going on? This Formula One that I'm used to, and now it's quite a sort of vanilla championship. What's happening? I mean, that is a view. Maybe as you say, it's nice to have a bit of a, you know, after you Oscar, after you Lando. Yeah. But I don't know. I think we've just finished the European season. Something always happens when it gets to the business end of a championship in any sport. And so let's see when we get to Singapore, the pressure races in Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Let's see. You might see some of this nicey start to crack, and they might start to get a bit.
And you're still enjoying it, doing what you're doing?
I am, because every day you never know what's going to happen in F1. And I take it back to Murray Walker, my hero, who always said the marvellous thing about Formula One is that it always finds a way of reinventing itself year after year. He says, I don't know how it does it. It's magic, really. It's a mystery, but it always finds a way of refreshing itself every year. And that's what I find as well.
Ted's book, F1 Insider Notes from the Pit Lane, is out now, published by Octopus Books, available in hardback. Enjoy the rest of the season, Ted. Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Thanks a lot.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Michael Beale joins us. There's been quite a claim by Ivan Toney over in Saudi. We'll get Michael's take on that. He's still working out there currently. And more from Ange Postecoglou's first press conference as the Forest boss. We've had our own man Max Scott there, and he'll be reporting back for us. Plus a baker's dozen, a birthday spread, and George North joining us for a chat from the world of rugby later on.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defensive stats.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT, and the legendary British athlete Dame Kelly Holmes has been chatting to our very own Shabana Hearn. She's at the BGC annual charity day, and she asked her about the controversial enhanced games which the Olympic swimmer Ben Proud has recently signed up for.
My only real say is that I don't believe in it. I think we should be talking about the positivity of sport, about people who work so hard. The highs and lows of sport are so dramatic. The injuries, the setbacks, the illnesses, the fights, the determination to be the best, the team around you, the sacrifices you make, the glory of standing on a rostrum representing your country is all because of heart and passion. That's what we should be thinking about and talking about more.
Yeah, Ben Proud was on with Jim and Simon a little bit earlier on. I've kind of listened to his reasoning with the guys and read some other stuff, but I don't quite get it. But look,
yeah, it's a little bit grim.
He's been pretty upfront, and honest about it, that money has played a huge part, and also that he feels sometimes the sport isn't as clean as it should be, and he feels like he's kind of swimming in an environment where it isn't a level playing field. But as I say, I just do not get it as a concept. It's a worrying idea. But I'm sure we'll return to that another time. We'll catch up with Shaban again a little bit later on. Lots of top guests there at the BGC Charity Day. But Josh Brownhill was on his way to Saudi. He had quite a few options in the Premier League. It was reported that quite a few teams wanted to sign him. West Ham, Wolves, Brentford among them. But no, he has decided to head to Al-Shabaab in the Saudi League. And that coincides with some comments from Ivan Toney, who's already out there at Al-Ali. He says that the league's in good shape. He says, Ronaldo's been around the world, probably knows a lot more than me, as I've only played in the Premier League, the Championship Leagues 1 and 2. For me, the Saudi Pro League is on a par with the Premier League. If Al-Ali were in the Premier League, we'd give it a good go and we'd be close to the top four. It's a quality league and people should not turn their noses up. So we thought we'd chat to someone who's worked out there, coached out there, and is still involved in football out there. The former QPR, Sunderland Rangers manager. It's Michael Beale. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, guys. Great to come on.
Yeah, good to talk to you. I mean, that feels a stretch. I mean, you're out there, Could you see Al-Ali being top four in the Premier League?
Well, Ivan's obviously speaking from his experience of the Saudi League and also the unique experience of playing at Brentford. So he's obviously has a right to his opinion on that. Last season, Ali finished 5th position in the Saudi League here. They ended the season very well. They won the Asian Champions League. And then they've started this season by winning the Saudi Super Cup. So they would be a competitive team in a one-off game with the Premier League teams. But as we saw, Hilal in the Club World Cup also show that in the games against Real Madrid and Man City. Whether that could be sustained over a 38-game season, that's the big debate for me.
I wonder, it's interesting, isn't it, that his name wasn't mentioned when Thomas Tuchel went through some of his striking options the other day were Harry Kane to get injured. I don't know if it was just an oversight, But
in a squad of what felt like a few outliers coming in and trying to make their name, he wasn't in that squad either. So
he's not been involved since he came over and didn't get any game time. I wonder if that distance playing over in Saudi is affecting his England chances.
Possibly. He scored 35 goals last season, so he was a big success here. Played in a team with Firmino and Riyad Mahrez and certainly looked the part. As I say, they won the Asian Champions League and he started the season very well. He's obviously competing with players like Ollie Watkins and Dominic Solanke, who I've worked with in the past. So Thomas has, obviously, his main player is Harry Kane as the captain, but he has a rich choice to make, which is a great place for him as the England coach, I'm sure.
What's the state of the game at the moment? We said Josh Brown, who was on his way over. I mean, is the window still open? I think some business can still. I'm not quite sure whether the Saudi window is closed or not. Are you expecting more incoming?
Well, the big thing here that maybe people are not aware is you're only allowed 8 foreign players, plus 2 under the age of 21.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, the first window, we saw such a heavy investment. But a lot of those players that came on 3 and 4 year deals. So, unless those players were to move on, then the clubs are not going to make the sort of transfer impact they've made in previous years. However, this summer has seen some interesting players come into the league. You know, if you look at Nasser, for example, they signed Kingsley Coman and João Felix to add to already Ronaldo and Sadio Mane in the front four. So you look at the sort of strength in depth those clubs have. I think the main business has already been done, in short answer to that question.
Yeah, we get the big headline names, of course, who are coming across. But what's the level of development for the teams of local players and young players that's going on in Saudi for the long term?
Yeah, for the long term, I think that's the interesting part that hasn't been told enough in Europe and certainly in the UK from my standpoint. The investment in stadia and training facilities is huge. The investment in technical staff for the academies and teams below. They've started a new reserve team league this year.
Right.
The issue being at first team level is that a lot of the Saudi national players, and going back to the last World Cup, they actually beat Argentina, didn't they, in the big surprise in the group stage game. A lot of those players have found football hard to come by.
Yeah.
Certainly in the attacking positions, that's where the investment's been. That's an ongoing issue for the league, but the league's in a really healthy place. The top 7 or 8 teams are got very, very good players. It's a difficult, demanding league with the travel and the weather, as you can imagine.
Yeah. And finally, Michael, you're out there doing some work with Al Attifaq consultancy, but I take it you're looking to get back in. You're still looking out for sort of managerial opportunities over here or elsewhere?
Yeah, leaving the club as an assistant manager back in February, that rolled straight into a consultancy role, which I'm more than happy to help the club with. That's enabled me to travel and watch a lot of games and feedback on players that the club are maybe interested in and the infrastructure of the club. But the aim is to come back to UK or Europe as a manager, and that's what I'm busy away preparing with as well.
Good stuff. Cheers, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Take care.
Michael Beale there. The assistant manager at
QPR, wasn't he? Rangers and Sunderland. Yeah.
That's right. And worked a lot with Stephen Gerrard, as he was saying, at Villa and other places as well. So our thanks to Michael. But, again, bit of a stretch top 4, I think. As you said, they finished 5th in their league last year. It is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Still to come this afternoon. We'll have a Baker's dozen for you. We will also be chatting to Max Scott. Mac's going to be joining us. He's been at the press conference for Ange Postecoglou.
He's at the City Ground, isn't he? Inside the City Ground.
He did, yeah. I did a show pitch side with Max just before he headed off to Australia. We did a kind of championship. Was they back in the Premier then? I can't remember. It was a few years ago now. But we just did the show at the side
from
of the
Forest.
Pitch. Just sat on the pitch in the sun. It was fantastic.
You ever kick around, Paul? You get your boots on?
I think we got a football out one. Andy Reid got us a football out at one point, I think.
Strike one in the back of the net.
So, in the meantime, do you have any bits and pieces for us? We had any emails or texts?
Yeah, we've had a few bits and pieces. I once had an interview with Southern Water. This is from Steve, and the interview went really well until it came to my interests, and I fessed up to being a Pompey fan, not realising that they were all Southampton fans, and later found it definitely cost me the job. So there we are. Sorry about that.
That's the second. That is the
second
time.
Pompey fan who's got
yeah, Pompey and
who's lost it.
Southampton
There we are.
seems to be
exactly.
the biggest problem. Anyway, time to tell you a little bit more about a big competition here on talkSPORT.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern
Time
Ireland.
is ticking.
For a chance
With
to
under
win,
two-
text the word OASIS to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Maybe I'd best tell you what that competition is now you've heard the back end.
Why not?
of
What
it.
is it, Paul?
Well, time's ticking, Charlie. With under 2 weeks to go, enter now for your chance to win £25,000 and tickets to Oasis' final Wembley gig. It's our biggest competition yet. But so don't look back in anger. Here's how to enter. You've just heard how to enter.
You heard it.
Yeah, you heard it. You know how to enter now. You don't need to
get in there.
So, yeah, still to come then. Max Scott joining us, reporting from Angie's press conference. George North joining us for a chat. And a birthday spread. That's all to come.
and 2022. Here's Simon Jordan.
They're not alleged. They declared them themselves. Todd Bowley volunteered that information, so they pretty much detailed it themselves, which they will have count in their favour in terms of the consequences that they'll get for those actions.
Well, Chelsea have 8 days to respond. Simon expects a financial punishment, but a points deduction isn't out of the question. Now, John Terry's told White and Jordan no one is safe from being dropped from Tuchel's England, not even Jude Bellingham or Harry Kane.
I think that's where Thomas is going to be ruthless and show that ruthless side as well. I think everyone can be dropped, or if it's after 55, 60 minutes, I don't think Thomas is going to sit there and wonder for the next 10 minutes whether I need to take Jude off or if Harry needs to come off and we need a bit of pace up front, I think he's the man to make those big decisions.
And former Premier League referee David Coote has pleaded not guilty to making an indecent image of a child. The 43-year-old is due back in court next month. There's more on this at talksport.com.
Yes, good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. As always at 4, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will bring you Drive. Before that, George North joining us for a chat. We'll have a birthday spread.
Oh, nice.
But
I think I'm going to thrash you in the spread this week.
Oh, nice one. Just over an hour ago, Ange Postecoglou faced the media for the first time as Nottingham Forest manager. And we're going to hear from Max Scott, who was in the room very shortly. And Max got a question and he asked him how he feels, or if he feels that he has a bit of a point to prove.
I don't see it as a point to prove. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, you know. I really believe that, you know, like the football club, that you just, you know, you let your kind of actions speak for themselves and you present yourself and understand the responsibility you have both as a manager and the football club has to provide joy to the most important people, and that is the supporters. That's why football clubs exist. They don't exist for any other reason. I know sometimes, especially in the Premier League, we think they do. You know, it's about the money or the exposure or the fame, but it's just about bringing joy to the people who, you know, are the lifeblood of this game. And I'm not into proving people wrong. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing because it brings joy to people and allows me to live my dreams.
And you said in your interview with the club that was released last night, you said, I love my teams to attack, score goals. This is sometimes misconstrued as me playing one way. Why do you think people feel that way? And what are they missing?
They're missing everything because they're not watching what I do, you know. And, yeah, I do love my teams to attack. I do love my teams to score goals. But the one constant in my career is that everywhere I've been, I've won things. So, and sometimes that's taken, you know, it's all done in a slightly different way. With the principles are all the same. But I'm never going to go away from, you know, I want my teams to play football that's exciting and gets people talking. And for you guys, I'm sure you don't want to see, you know, 20 teams all playing the same way. What's the point? So, you know, from my perspective, I always try and do things a little bit differently.
I like that he's so constant. If any, a lot of managers, they go away, they have, you know, if they lose the job, they go away, they lose a bit of weight, they sort of get a bit of a tan, they might get their teeth done, a bit of dye in their hair. He's come back, if anything, more Ange. It's like double Ange.
Yeah, he's GTI Ange.
He's not come. Imagine if he come back. Well, you know, hello there, lovely to meet you. But he's lovely. He's like double Ange.
Interesting stuff. Good questions there from Maxie.
Very good, Max.
Hello, Max.
Afternoon, fellas. How are we?
Yeah, not bad. What did you make generally of what about his performance? Rate his performance for us. I mean, that's, you know, cards on the table. It's your team. You love the club, so you would have been watching closer than many.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I think, you know, I'm not, you know, 10 out of 10, let's say. I think he was on really good form. He was cracking a few jokes with the media, but he was his usual confident, outspoken, charismatic self, and that really came across well. I think what struck me was the question that I put to him was around the sort of style and why he feels potentially misunderstood. And he spoke about the versatility of the players at his disposal. He spoke about the fact that this summer has been a very good one for the club, and he likes the profile, and he thinks that the squad that he has at his disposal is capable of playing different types of football. And I can tell you that will be, I think, a relief for lots of Nottingham Forest fans who maybe interpret a lot of what's said in the media, a lot of what they read about Ange playing one way. I mean, you heard him there. He was absolutely unanimous. And what he did say to me was, I've won things playing 3 at the back, 5 at the back. I played 4-4-2 for an entire season. And when you look at the squad at his disposal, he seems very excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Ange play 2 ways. We saw him play kind of all-out attacking and ultra-defensive.
Yeah.
And maybe the learning from his couple of years in the Premier League, Forest will feel the benefit of, Max, and you'll see maybe a bit more balance in his team.
Without a doubt. And as well, he is taking over from a side that are very adept at defending very well. Let's ignore that 3-0 loss to West Ham. I think that there was a lot of disruption at the club off the back of those Nuno comments. But one thing that we've seen from this Forest side is they know how to defend well. And it's very clear from Ange Postecoglou's comments that this is not going to be some dramatic shift to exactly what he wants. He's acknowledged it's going to be a gradual change. And so it seems that, as you would expect, there's a very sensible approach to this, and he appreciates what's been achieved already at the club. He didn't just praise Nuno for what he's done, saying that he did an excellent job, rightly so, at Forest, but also very much of Steve Cooper, and he understands that he's coming off the back of 2 managers that are incredibly popular, and one thing he made clear is he really wants to give fans trophies. He wants to give fans a reason to get out of their seats and enjoy the football, and so he's hit all the right notes, I think, for Forest fans tuning in.
He's sometimes a bit snappy, a bit snippy. If he's asked the wrong question, did you see any flashes of that, Max?
You got mild Narky. We said I've got no point to prove to him. I mean, you didn't put mate in there. There wasn't. How many mates were there? Did you do a mate count today?
I did. I wasn't on mate count, but I got a few. It's nice to be on the end of an Ange mate. No, I don't think. From being in the room, I don't think there was any snippiness at all. I think he's just, he knows what he wants. He knows what he's good at. And for him, that's winning trophies. And so I think, unless, I don't know, I think if you've got thick skin like most journos do in the room, there was certainly no feeling from anyone there that he wasn't on good form. I think quite the opposite. He was on really good form, like I say, cracking a few jokes. And, seemed in very good form. So, no, I gladly wasn't on the end of anything like that.
On the players, there's been a bit of a conspiracy theory going around that, this has been in the offing for a while because all the players that they signed in the window are all quite Angie sort of attacking players. Was there any chat on the players at all, Max?
No, one thing he did say, though, in terms of his appointment is that this, the first he heard of it was at the weekend. And talking about the Ange jokes, I might not be able to deliver it in quite the same way. But he said he got the call when he was on a school run. And being on a school run is when you realise, you need to get back to work. And so for him, this happened very quickly. And so there's been no talk of players. The only thing he said is from what he's seen so far in the first training session yesterday, is that he was incredibly impressed with the culture, the togetherness, the bonds between the players. He was very sort of outspoken in the fact that he wants to continue that, but he knows that that's going to take time. And he said he's very excited to get the full squad back today. Obviously, lots of internationals and just some injury news ahead of that game against Arsenal live on talkSPORT Saturday lunchtime is that it looks like the only doubt will be Ola Aina, who seemed to pick up some sort of leg hamstring injury on international duty. But other than that, a full bill of health.
I know he brought in quite a lot of his coaching staff from Spurs yesterday, including Mila Jedinak. Are there any existing coaching staff from Nuno's time there? Because he's got so little time to prepare the team, for Saturday lunchtime, hasn't he?
Not from what I understand, no. But one thing I would say is that he's spoken about that challenge, that he's got 4 away games. So Arsenal away, there's Swansea away, there's Burnley away, and then there's the small trip of Forest's first visit to Europe in 30 years against Real Betis. And so he knows he's got a big job on his hands. But it doesn't sound to me that he's going to turn up and, rip it all up and implement a brand new system straight away. I think having listened to him, I get a sense that I can understand his frustration about him being slightly misunderstood. And we didn't talk too much about Spurs or Labour on his time there. But, there were injury issues. And he wasn't here at all making any excuses. But I just do get the impression that, he was quite clear that this is going to take a little bit of time. There's not going to be some revolution overnight, but he's excited about what he's seen so far.
There was finally a little bit of a pop at the Spurs hierarchy. You mentioned he talked about Steve Cooper and Nuno and how jobs sometimes come up. And he said, I certainly didn't expect maybe, I'm paraphrasing here, but he did sort of say, I certainly didn't expect maybe to lose my job off the back of winning a trophy.
Yeah, and for me that was refreshing to hear because Spurs hadn't won a trophy in so long. You'll know yourself, and I think it didn't feel like too much of a dig, but more just like an honest reflection of the fact that he had won them a European trophy, and he wasn't necessarily expecting, but equally there was a time where he could see it coming, and so it wasn't a surprise. So you could say that as a dig, and fair play.
Max, good work. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Max. Excellent.
Thanks, fellas.
Max Scott there up at the City Ground for Ange Postecoglou's first press conference. I'm sure you'll be hearing more of it during the day. I'm sure Andy and Benty will have their take on some of the comments that he made. We've got a Baker's Dozen coming up.
That's nice.
George North's going to join us for a chat. He has his autobiography out, No Other Place. And from the world of MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Charlie's other life, of course, as a cage fighter. Roger Grace is going to join us in the studio. And we'll talk about his work with quite a lot of the Hollywood stars and the growth of the sport and other matters. He's got a new book out himself, The Warrior Mindset. Yeah. And when I think of The Warrior Mindset, Charlie Baker, I think of you.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it in the birthday spread, of course.
Indeed. Let's see if we can take some of that into it. We're here with Tool Station, ready to help at over 580 stations nationwide. Next stop, Tool Station.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes!
unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Time once again for another Baker's Dozen.
Yes.
Danny Kelly idea that was done in my absence, but we've kept it alive. Danny will be pleased.
I did do a show called Baker's Dozen in 2013.
Ah, okay, fair
But it is a Danny Kelly idea.
Radio production.
He has given me.
He thought, while I was away, he thought we'd do Baker's Dozen, and but we've tweaked it slightly.
I've tweaked it slightly. We've made it that the listener provides the 13.
Because a Baker's Dozen is 13.
It's 13, Paul. The bakers would make 13 of buns, donuts, bread, whatever.
Yeah.
Because if they were delivering a dozen and one went wrong, they'd have the spare. It's a very good idea.
It is a good idea.
Like a substitute, like a sat on the bench.
That's it, yeah.
Like a bun on the bench.
The 13th man.
Like a bun on the bench, my new podcast.
Yes, indeed. So,
it's a bait after Jed Spence made his debut this week.
Yeah.
Paul,
For England,
For
yeah.
England, it's a Baker's Dozen of debuts.
Excellent. Okay.
Baker's Dozen of debuts.
You're going to give us 12.
I'll give you 12.
And then the listeners do the Baker's Dozen. They come up in the final hour with add the 13th. That'll be the one that they can't believe you forgot.
That's how it works. We'll start off, it's not all sport, but we'll start off with Rodney Redmond, Paul, for New Zealand.
Right.
He scored 107 on his test. I think we'll leave the music in underneath.
Do you like it? Do you want to keep it bubbling?
I like it. I think they're struggling to do that. Okay. Rodney, he scored 107 on test debut in 1973, Rodney.
That's brilliant. Well done, Rodney.
New Zealand.
Rodney Redmond.
But struggled with contact lenses on the subsequent tour of England, failing to score enough to be ever selected again.
Wow. Really? Because of his contact lenses?
Because of his contact lenses. So scored 103 in a test, never selected again.
And that's a proud tradition of wearing glasses in that New Zealand side.
Exactly. He should have done that. Rodney Redmond, 107, and that's your lot.
Okay.
Jermaine Defoe, Paul. Jermaine Defoe scored on other than Bournemouth, scored on every single debut he ever made.
What about that?
West Ham, twice at West Ham or twice at Spurs?
Twice at Spurs.
Twice at Spurs, West Ham, Rangers.
He's on
everywhere he went.
Breakfast this morning, yeah.
Scored this morning on breakfast, apparently. Was it his debut? I don't know if it was.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know. There we are. So Jermaine Defoe, there we are.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane, Paul. Orson Welles' debut film.
Yeah.
Known as the greatest film of all time.
Yeah.
You ever seen it?
I have seen it,
Good,
more than
isn't it?
once, yeah.
Rosebud. I nearly said Red Rum then, but that's a different film.
Yeah.
And that's The Shining.
Yeah.
Red Rum.
Yeah.
Good film. I think I could play Orson Welles. Do you think, Paul?
I could see that.
If I wrote Orson Welles the musical, I think I could turn up Rosebud.
Yeah.
That would be the first song.
You can't do the voice. You're doing Alec Guinness as Orson Welles there, aren't
This
you?
is not the act. This is not the voice you are looking for.
Yeah, that's it.
And there we are.
Now you're doing Chat GPT. But keep going anyway.
Jane Eyre, Paul, the book, Jane Eyre.
Jane
Charlotte
Eyre.
Bronte's debut novel.
Oh, yeah.
1847.
Yeah.
And it's still kicking about now, isn't it?
Yeah, people still read it.
Still reading it.
Still reading it.
I've never read it.
No, nor have I, actually.
Never read it. Not read many of the classics, if I'm honest.
I've read some of the classics,
What
just
have you
not
read?
that one. What? How many do you want? I don't know. Don Quixote, Moby Dick, Gulliver's Travels. You want me to carry on?
Yeah.
Great Gatsby.
Oh, someone's doing all right. Read all them books. Ooh.
Well, I'm getting on now. Over the course of these years, I've managed to read a book or two. Looks like we got ourselves a reader.
All right, Professor. Dishon Bernard. Do you know who that is, Paul? Who did he play for? Do you know who? Dishon Bernard. Plays for Sheffield Wednesday at the moment.
Okay.
But on his Manchester United debut, Dishon Bernard scored an own goal on his only appearance for Man United and never played a second game for Man United. Played once for Man U, scored no goal, never played again.
Okay, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Well, it's under Ten Hag in Kazakhstan.
Okay.
There we are. I don't know what number we're on now.
No one wants to be under Ten Hag in Kazakhstan, do they?
Yeah. Don't Google that. Right. All right, first bit of music now. Here we go.
Okay.
You like this, Paul? You like this?
Okay.
Nice and loud.
Alfie and Donna.
Yeah. Keep it going. Well,
this is the intro.
Wait, I know we don't want the intro. I don't know why I've got the intro. It will come in.
Is this the karaoke version?
Yeah, maybe. And ting.
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we are. Oh, yeah.
Great song.
Oh, yeah. It's
Brilliant song.
Uptown Top Ranking,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
which, as you know, is Roy Hodgson's favourite record.
Yeah. Piece of work you are. Go on, keep broadcasting, Charlie. Yeah.
So proud of
Very
you.
pleased with yourself, aren't you? Yeah.
It's a great record, Paul.
Yeah. See me in my heels and ting.
Uptown Top Ranking.
See me give you a heart attack, you know.
you know.
Yeah, I'm strictly woo. So I can't do the voice.
No tap, no star.
Keep broadcasting.
Very, very good. That was their first ever single.
Yeah.
They were 17 and 18 years old.
Great song.
And they were a true one-hit wonder. Never released another song.
Oh.
Just number one and never released another song.
Okay. What number are they?
I don't know what number I'm up to, actually.
Okay, go on, keep going.
Keep going. Jonathan Woodgate's debut, of course, for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, where he got sent off and scored an own goal.
Yeah, that's
very
it.
Nice. That
Tremendous.
was very good. Well done, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Effion Williams played for Torquay. There's always some Torquay element.
Of course there is, yeah.
Effion Williams, he was the club's top signing for £70,000.
Mm-hmm.
We signed him, and he scored a hat-trick on debut. And after that, scored about 4 goals
Diminishing
in the
returns.
next 3 years.
Yeah.
But there we are. Effion Williams went to Hartlepool, had a very good career after that. What was the other music did we have? I've got to try and find the other
music one. Have you?
We've got another music one now.
Gonna have to be quick,
yes, here we go. Yeah,
Here
sure,
we
here
go.
it comes. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory actor Peter Ostrom. Paul.
Good morning, and look at the sun. I never thought that I would be
The lad who played Charlie.
Played Charlie.
With the blonde hair and the jumper.
It's his debut film, and never did another film.
Never made
another film, and became a vet.
Did he really?
Became a vet. So there we are. I went home from filming Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, as it was called in the movie.
Yeah.
He had horses. Got talking to the horse vet. Decided didn't want to be an actor anymore. Wanted to be a vet.
That's brilliant, Charlie.
There we are.
Fantastic.
So it'll be a nice little
Nearly there.
Peter Ostrom.
Yeah.
It's like you've had enough, Paul.
No, it's all right. Just it's the time, you see,
what
Charlie.
time is it? Oh,
They want to do the news.
All right. And the Beatles, Love Love Me Do was their first single. Pretty good way to start.
Yeah.
Good debut single.
Great debut.
And Jasmine Cephas Jones, who made her Broadway debut in Hamilton, the musical, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely brilliant. You can watch it on Disney if you want to watch it.
I've seen it. It's brilliant.
Incredible piece of work. Absolutely. But that is her Broadway debut. She's one of the Schuyler sisters. It's just been released now in cinemas. They're still talking about it. It's still an amazing piece of work. She's still out there. So what a Broadway debut that is, Paul. So there we are. That's it. My favourite of all of them is Rodney Redmond, the cricketer, scoring 107 on his Test debut.
So that's 12.
Yeah.
We need 13. That's a baker's dozen. So
need the
what's he left
13th
out?
one.
For you, I mean, you can think outside the box, much like Charlie did there. Great debuts. And in whatever context you like, just any great debut.
Any great debut at all. Add the 13th one to the baker's dozen.
And we'll decide on that just before 4 and bring you the best of them in the next hour. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. To get in touch this afternoon.
Glenn's already got in touch. Glenn the Happy Hammer. Jimmy Greaves. Once again, I've left Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah.
Scored on his debut for every team and every level for England, of course. There we are. Very nice.
So, and keep those coming. George North joining us for a chat. His autobiography is out. We'll be chatting to George very shortly. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. The sports headlines are next.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your latest sports headlines, I'm Matt Hutchinson. We're going to start with Ange Postecoglou, who's paid tribute to his predecessors at Forest.
When you look at the job Nuno did over the last couple of years, and to be fair, Steve Coops before that, because when Coops came to the club, they weren't looking like they were going to be in the Premier League very quickly. So, they've had two excellent managers who have done fantastic work.
Well, the Australian has been speaking to the media for the first time since being appointed, saying he wants to return Forest to their rightful place in English football. His first game in charge is at Arsenal this Saturday lunchtime. You can, of course, hear that live right here on talkSPORT. Elsewhere this afternoon, the Chelsea hierarchy have defended the club after they were charged with 74 alleged rule breaches. Their overpayments to agents during Roman Abramovich's time in West London. The club say they've given the FA unprecedented transparency, including comprehensive access to files. Simon Jordan agrees.
They're not alleged. They declared them themselves. Todd Bowley volunteered that information, so they pretty much detailed it themselves, which they will have count in their favour in terms of the consequences that they'll get for those actions.
David Coote has pleaded not guilty to making an indecent image of a child. The former Premier League referee is due back in court next month. Jamie Vardy has told a sceptical reporter that age is just a number. The 38-year-old is promising to prove the doubters wrong after arriving at newly promoted Serie A side Cremonese. And Newcastle United have cancelled tickets bought by a school in Dundee for next week's match against Barcelona. The club's supporters trust has criticised the purchase as it was just days after 110,000 fans have been queuing online for seats.
talkSPORT News.
The FBI says it has videos and photos of a suspect after right-wing activist Charlie Kirk was shot dead in Utah. And Lord Mandelson has been sacked as the UK's ambassador to the US over his relationship with paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, proudly supporting air ambulance charities this Air Ambulance Week. Every mission starts with you. Visit Air Ambulances UK to learn more.
We're expecting a mix of sunny spells and showers over the next few hours, turning heavy and thundery in Western England and Wales.
Yes, good afternoon. Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Don't forget, we want your 13th in of the Baker's dozens. Get those in. But we're going to be chatting later on to Roger Gracie, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, MMA fighter. He has written The Tao of a Champion, Warrior Mindset, with a foreword by actor Tom Hardy, who he has worked with around some of Tom Hardy's films. So we'll chat to Roger later on. Before that, though, from the world of rugby, one of the Wales greats, still going strong, playing over in Provence in France, has written his autobiography. George North joins us. Good afternoon, George.
Hello, George.
Good afternoon. How are we?
Yeah, we're good.
George.
I mean, talk about, often you'll go into a bookshop and you'll pick up the book and you'll look at the back of the book and I'll read the sleeve notes.
Yeah.
And yours is sensational, George. Age 16, I started drawing up a list of the things I wanted to achieve and stuck it on the back of my bedroom door. And it's been recreated. I'll show it to the listeners and to Charlie. And there's some corkers in there. Beat Dad in the bike race. Did you ever do that, ultimately, George?
Don't ask him, but yes, I did.
Did you get the Brecon socks you wanted?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, very nice.
Maybe I won't run through them all. We'll be afraid. But playing the Millennium Stadium, did you ever manage that?
I managed that a few times. Only a few.
Yeah. It's lovely. I mean, did these inspire you as life went on after 16?
Yeah, it did. For me, it was always very important to have goals. I guess if you knew the setup of Welsh rugby logistics from when I was in North Wales, to get an opportunity to play down South Wales was always very difficult. So I knew I had to be disciplined, I had to be focused. And having that on the back of my wall when I left home to go to college to do my sixth form in Llandovery, it just reminded me every day when I left my room to go and train, left my room to go and eat or recover or do something, or my schoolwork, obviously. It just gave me that focus and drive every time I left my room, and I think it was very important and quite an important, well, a very important part of my my focus.
Yeah, it's a fascinating read. Some really interesting stuff in there. You talk about Lions as well. We just had a Lions tour. I'm just interested to get your thoughts on what we saw from the Lions this summer. And what do you make of the kind of Lions setup? It's changing, isn't it, over time? Maybe the guys get a little bit less chance to acclimatise before they play the games. What did you make of the summer?
From a Lions point of view, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really, really clinical. I thought the boys got on the same hymn sheet very quickly. Like from a rugby point of view, I think it would have been great to reenact 2013 and gone 1-1 and then play the last with as a decider would have been amazing. But to have the opportunity for a clean sweep is always exciting as well. But the way they went about their work, not just in the Test series, but the games before, was great to watch.
121 caps for Wales, won the Premiership with Northampton. Is there anything that you haven't achieved that you wish you had achieved?
I mean, a World Cup would have been nice, but I think I tried, but failed on a few times on that one. But I was very lucky that I came through in a very good age of Welsh rugby. Came through with players that were my heroes growing up, and to be able to go shoulder to shoulder with those from a young age was something that I was very, very proud of, but incredibly. It's just a huge honour and very lucky to be a part of that circle.
You talk about the dynamic of a dressing room as well. When you first come into the Welsh squad there, as you said, many of the guys you've grown up watching play big hitters. You have to kind of know your place within the hierarchy. But you're there for such a long time and you play for such a long time. In the end, you become one of those elder statesmen. And then those young players coming in are in the same position you were.
Yeah, it's, I guess, without sounding really heavy on a Thursday afternoon, it's quite the circle of life, I guess. I was always the young one for a very long time. I got capped at 18, and I don't think I said boo to a goose for the first 2-3 years of being in a Welsh shirt, just out of, I guess, respect, learning my way, trying to stay in that position, trying to stay in that jersey for as long as I could. But you suddenly realise, want to skip a few, you're the old boy now, and have to guide the next generation, the next lot. And for me, it was a huge honour to wear the jersey. Just once would have been a huge honour, but to do it, 121 times was, puts a smile on my face for sure.
And now you're slumming it in Provence. What a nightmare. I always think when rugby players go and play in the south of France, or any bit of France really, but the south of France, I always think, what a life that is, Paul.
Well, we've spoken.
Fantastic.
We've spoken to Dan Bigger once or twice, and he often says the missus is on the phone, that she's in the pool with the kids.
Yeah.
It does. You probably can't do that in Anglesey maybe in the winter. But what's your French like, George? Do you and Dan now converse in French when you chat, the pair of you?
I would say my French is pal mal. I get by. I can order a coffee. I can order some food. Where Dan is proper, like, speaking the language and in with the locals, isn't he? So
yeah,
he. There's a lot of nodding, but I understand quite a bit. I just can't always reply.
Yeah, it's you talk for the first time really in the book about your concussion issues when you were playing, which were very serious, and how, in effect, it's probably not the best phrase, but you kind of did become the sort of poster boy for concussion issues, not just in rugby but in sport. And that was tricky for you to deal with, wasn't it? You admit.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest point of my career, really. I've had many injuries along the way, but that was probably the most documented. And ideally, I would have been a poster boy for Calvin Klein or something a bit cooler than concussion, really. But like I say in the book, but I've said it in many interviews. It's it was a tough time for me personally. But if I was able to carry that weight, for a small period of time, to get rugby to where it is now, with understanding of concussion and their research into it, their sort of prevention and their return to play protocols being so much better, then it's worth it now. At the time, it was very difficult, still a very young man. But again, I always put my health first and did the best by me. And, I thought if I didn't address it, I think there'd be more questions.
Sure.
But for me, I wanted to get it out there and have it on my terms, certainly in black and white. And I know people may not agree or understand the way I processed it or the way I went about it. But, for me, it was the best thing for my health and, I guess as a whole, and to get back to rugby and going forward.
The doctors still kind of keep an eye on you. Do you worry for the future? Do you worry about the impact that those concussions could have long term?
Like I said, for me, I've only ever done what's the right thing for me at the time. Do I worry? There's always worry. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I can't do enough to protect myself now, and put in like a monitoring process where I see the doctors minimum 2-3 times a year, going above and beyond to look after myself. I'm mentally as well as physically, and for me it's the best thing I can do to protect me.
You said you came through a fantastic time for Welsh rugby. It's not been quite as fantastic in recent years. How do you feel about the state of the game at home, George, and the kind of way forward? You're a bit more optimistic maybe than you were a year or so ago?
Yeah, obviously it's not ideal at the moment. It's pretty tough. Obviously, still following it wholeheartedly, as it was a big part of my life, and still is now. Obviously, it was very tough. Obviously, when we lose Gats and we get Matt Sherritt in. Obviously, he does a great job in the situation we had. We get that result to get that monkey off the back in terms of that win against Japan.
Yeah.
We got Steve Tandy coming in now, which is, I think, a great appointment for us. And, it's up to him now to stamp his position and stamp his authority on that squad and how he wants it to look and how he wants to go about his work and how we want to play. And, we have got the young guys there. I think Steve is the right guy to guide him back into that position, but it's not going to be an overnight process for sure.
It's interesting times in rugby. We've got R360, the kind of rebel spin-off, which is causing a fair bit of friction. What do you make of it?
I think rugby as a whole, globally, is not in a particularly very good place. I think anything to drive participation up, to get bums in seats to watch games, is only going to strengthen rugby as a sport globally. The prospect of the R360 is exciting. I think, you look at what Formula One are potentially doing now and having more sprint races in, and I think that's an amazing opportunity for them to drive younger audiences and get more people to watch it, and they are the exciting races. So if R360 can do that, then I think it's going to be best and help rugby as a whole globally.
Yeah, we're talking about debuts, great debuts. What did you do and what happened in your professional debut, George? Can you remember it?
What for club or country?
For club, yeah. Your first ever professional rugby match.
You got a try on debut, didn't you? Youngest player ever to score a try on debut.
I actually scored 2 tries for club and country on debut.
Wow. Okay.
Good start, maybe a pub quiz.
Yeah. Good quiz question. Yeah.
No, it was good. Obviously, I was young at the time. I just turned 18, and I think it was a case I was playing for the Scarlets. And not to do myself a misjustice, I think I had to play because everyone else was injured.
Yeah.
So, we played out in Treviso, and I picked up 2 tries, and that was the start of the early run for me. And since then, it's been very busy.
Finally, you're still enjoying playing your rugby, I'm sure, but I'm sure you have an eye to the future as well. Your old mate Sam Warburton's gone down the media route. Have you thought about what you'd like to do? Would you like to coach? What are your plans maybe for the future? Have you thought about that?
Well, when I grow up, I want to be. when I get a real job, there's a few options at the moment. There's different things. I've tried a bit of the media stuff. I enjoyed that. I did a bit with talkSPORT with you guys a few autumn series ago. Done bits for the telly box, which was good. For me, I think at the moment it's just about enjoying this block of my career with my family out in the south of France.
Yeah.
As you said, I can think of probably worse places to be right now.
Sure.
But I think there's options out there, but I think it's one of those ones I think I need to almost be in a space to try them once I finish, to almost work out what I don't want to do rather than necessarily what I want to do. But yeah, there's some great opportunities, but for now, it's just enjoying a bit of sunshine in the south of France.
Brilliant. Best of luck with your
Thanks,
autobiography, George. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
George North's autobiography, No Other Place, is published by HarperCollins, and it's out in hardback now. And the stuff around, we didn't get a chance to talk in depth, but the stuff around his concussion and the multiple concussions that he had and how he coped with it is fascinating stuff. So we do recommend it. Another author joining us in a moment from the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the MMA, Roger Gracie's here with a forward by Tom Hardy. It's the Tao of the Champion, Warrior Mindset. And, Roger popping in shortly. We're here with Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Goal! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing.
Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Yeah, this Saturday season eagerly anticipated rematch as Lewis Crocker and Paddy Donovan battle it for the IBF welterweight title in an historic All-Irish World Championship clash. That'll be on DAZN. You can watch it only on DAZN. Staying with fight sports, we enter the world of MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We hoped our next guest would be in the studio,
Yes.
but as you're probably aware, there is a tube strike in London which has made the traffic hellish. So down the line, rather than in the studio, sadly, but he's still with us, chatting about the warrior mindset. The tower of a champion is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA fighter and coach Roger Gracie. Hi, Roger.
Hello, Roger.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, sorry about the London traffic. That's not what you've been here long enough to know what it's like. So, yeah, it's a shame we couldn't see you. But thanks for joining us anyway. A forward by Tom Hardy, because that's become a sort of something else you're involved in, working with actors, getting them ready for roles.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu became almost a fever,
Yeah.
Everyone is doing now, which is it's great.
So why is it you think they? I mean, it's an interesting sport. We're going to come on later on to maybe why it's not an Olympic sport, but why is it that they come to you for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the movie world as opposed to, say, another martial art?
Because I think now it's with the spread of MMA and the popularity of jiu-jitsu, I think people want something different than the traditional karate scenes. You see all the fighting scenes in the movies now. It's all grappling based. There's arm locks. There's there's chokes. So there's a lot of mix with jiu-jitsu. I think with popularity of people, around the world, there's like millions of people doing jiu-jitsu. So I think people wants to see that a bit more, It's more, I would say, a more realistic way of fighting.
Yeah.
We were talking Formula One earlier on, and our guest Ted said that the great drivers are the ones who manage to clear their minds completely while they're driving and only think of the race, only think of the corner they're about to turn or the braking they're about to do. You say in your book, The Warrior Mindset, as that's the way to win a jiu-jitsu fight, is to completely clear your mind. If you start thinking about, I've got that bill to pay, you'll immediately be in some sort of arm or headlock.
I think that's the only way to really be great. If you really want to focus fully in something, you need to have your mind completely absorbed in what you're doing. It's if a race driver is thinking about something else, he'll never be first. It's impossible. So either you learn the ability to clear your mind and be absorbed 100% in what you're doing, or you'll be second.
You came to the sport relatively late. You were steeped in the sport. I think your dad fought. Your grandfather, Carlos Gracie, is like one of the founding fathers of the sport as we know it. But you didn't kind of take it up from a very young age. You say you were a kind of self-contained, chubby kid, and it wasn't really until your teens that you started to fight.
Yeah, I always trained as a kid, but not committed. It's training sporadically. I never really competed. Every time that I competed, I lost. And from like 10 to 15, I put a little bit of weight. I was a bit of a chubby kid. So coming from a family that champions, generations before me were trained since kids to be the champions. Every champions before me you were already recognized as a kid. People already sort of knew or expected that person to be a champion. And but I wasn't. I came like relatively late.
So what was the catalyst? What was the catalyst? What made you suddenly take it very seriously?
When I went to spend holidays with my uncle, I'm from Rio de Janeiro, and when I went to the south of Brazil, a city called Florianópolis, to spend my summer holidays with him, I was 15, and I think I fell in love with the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, the Gracie lifestyle, what it means to be a Gracie. I stayed at his house. We was to training every day. He made me diet. He started putting in my mind, like, what are you doing with your life? You need to be a champion. I had a cousin, like 3 years older than me, living with him at the time. He was already a competitor, he was already absorbed into the Gracie lifestyle. And when I spent a couple of weeks with them, and when I came back, I was in love. I was like, this is what I want for me. And he was like, come live with me. So next year, my mom agreed, my dad, that I spend almost a year with him. And I think that was just the beginning of everything. After that, I changed. I was in a path.
You've got to pitch that to Tom Hardy or Henry Cavill. That's a movie right there,
Yes.
Roger. That I can see. I'm casting it in my head already. I'm trying to think who's playing your uncle. Obviously, Tom or Henry are playing you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It sounds very movie-like, doesn't it? The idea that you go off to another part of Brazil and then suddenly the guy goes on to be a world champion just for this. I mentioned.
I'll tell Guy Ritchie, which is a jiu-jitsu black belt and a great director, to direct the movie. It's a good idea.
Pitch it to him. It's this meets this. I'm sure you can get it away. I mentioned earlier on it isn't an Olympic sport. I was doing a little bit of reading into why. The feeling is it's the kind of scoring is quite complicated. It's a bit of a nuanced sport. Would you love to see it as an Olympic sport? I'm sure you would.
Yes and no, to be honest. The reason that it's not Olympic is because there's a traditional jiu-jitsu, was the old version of jiu-jitsu that is, before it was modified into what it is today. And it has the same name, but it's completely different, all the approach of fighting. So it's almost a different martial arts. So the Olympic Committee, he will not recognize two martial arts with the same name. So that alone is very difficult. And if you think of all the martial arts that did went to Olympic, it killed the martial art aspect. Look at karate before it went to Olympic. The way that the sport is now is pure entertaining. You cannot even strike your opponent too hard. You get disqualified. It's all about touching and scoring. So as a concept of martial arts, it's it's not a. Every sport, every martial arts that went to the Olympic, it stopped being a martial arts. It became an entertaining sport. So I'm almost afraid that if that does happen to jiu-jitsu, they will mold the rules of the sport into an entertaining sport, to be entertaining for spectators. And I think the concept of martial arts will die with it. So.
Well, it's been great to talk to you. Sadly, we're out of time, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Warrior Mindset, the Tower of a Champion. Roger Gracie, with a forward by Tom Hardy, is out in hardback now. And we definitely like a couple of tickets to the premiere of that movie, Roger, when it comes out. So do remember us.
Credit, Paul.
Do remember us.
You'll have front row, don't worry.
Take care, Roger. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Roger Gracie there, and you can check out his book now.
At the start of every jiu-jitsu session in a gym, they line everyone up in belt order. So whoever you are outside doesn't count. It counts who you are in the gym. So they line each other up in experience order and skill level. It's very like talkSPORT.
It is.
When we come in the morning and everyone's lined up.
I wonder what I was doing at the far end of that queue. I wonder what was going on.
Just how it works.
Roger's book's quite heavy. If I came at you with it now, could you defend yourself? And do you know Andy Jacobs' martial arts story?
I believe. I know he took up boxing. I don't know. Well, we'll find out.
This is. Well, I think it was either judo or karate.
All right.
I'll get him to tell it to you in a moment for the boys and girls at home as well. So Andy Jacobs, martial artist. Just one of the things we'll do is we set up the birthday spread, which is coming up after the news headlines.
Chelsea have been charged with 74 FA rule breaches over payments made during the Roman Abramovich era. They relate to breaking rules around transfers over alleged payments to agents between 2009 and 2022. Here's Simon Jordan.
They're not alleged. They declared them themselves. Todd Bowley volunteered that information, so they pretty much detailed it themselves, which they will have count in their favour in terms of the consequences that they'll get for those actions.
Well, Chelsea have 8 days to respond. Simon expects a financial punishment, but a points deduction isn't out of the question. Now, John Terry's told White and Jordan no one is safe from being dropped from Tuchel's England, not even Jude Bellingham or Harry Kane.
I think that's where Thomas is going to be ruthless and show that ruthless side as well. I think everyone can be dropped, or if it's after 55, 60 minutes, I don't think Thomas is going to sit there and wonder for the next 10 minutes whether I need to take Jude off or if Harry needs to come off and we need a bit of pace up front. I think he's the man to make those big decisions.
And former Premier League referee David Coote has pleaded not guilty to making an indecent image of a child. The 43-year-old is due back in court next month. There's more on this at talksport.com.
Time for the birthday spread. 10 birthdays. Andy Jacobs has collated them today. He has a little gagette attached to each one. And it's
Andy Jacobs and the Gagettes.
That's it. What a band they were.
What a great band.
It's our job to try and guess the ages of the people that Andy's come up with. Some we'll know, some we won't. We won't get them all right, obviously. A margin of error will build, and it's the one with the shortest margin of error after 10 guesses. That is the winner. Say good afternoon to Andy first. Good afternoon, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Good afternoon. Heard you talking about my career in
martial arts. Talk us just briefly. Say hello to Jeff first, because he'd like to be part of this. Jeff will know it. It's an old Andy story. But for those that haven't, good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon to you, boys.
Okay, let's tell us about. Was it karate or judo, Andy?
It was judo.
Oh,
it was judo classes.
Oh, very nice.
And to cut a very long story short, my trousers fell down.
Yeah. He didn't do the belt up tight enough, so he got in position to fight, and then his kecks were around his ankles. He was standing there just with his pants.
Wow,
I was wearing pants,
and you lose
a brown belt.
You lose a bit of edge, don't you? Your opponent can't take. I mean, it's quite disarming for your opponent with your trousers around.
Is that a move? I don't know if that's a move or
It's
not.
the Brian Ricks, they call it, I think, in jiu-jitsu circles. Anyway, what happened last week, Jeff?
Well, I was going to say, you won last week. You lead 17-10 this year.
Yeah.
Charlie started with 2 direct hits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then slipped up on the 9th birthday. Dame Sue Carr did for Charlie last
Dame
week.
Sue Carr, yeah, I heard the word.
Dame Davor Sue Carr.
I just heard it from nowhere.
So, it means
that's when it turned into the waste of half an hour it normally is.
Well, yeah, kids game. I'll kick us off, then we alternate. Here's the first birthday. Here we go.
Here we go. It's the singer Beyonce Knowles Carter.
Oh, Beyonce Knowles Carter.
Yeah. Basically Beyonce.
Yeah.
And she was building a boxing gym in her house, actually. And she had the punch ball, the heavy bag, the pads, the gloves. She said to me, something's missing. I said, you should have put a ring in it.
Put a ring in it. Very good.
Excellent. What's Beyonce now? She's got to be in her 40s, isn't she? What, 44 Beyonce Knowles Carter.
Always good fun, the joke about her getting married to Roy Castle, of course.
Yeah.
Beyonce Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't work.
Wherever she went, there'd always be lots of kid shoes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. 44, you said, Paul, did you?
Yeah, 44.
I'm going to say a little bit older than that.
Oh, you're
46.
46.
44.
44.
Was she
Paul's been looking in the papers.
No, I've not.
Wow,
Just a good
Paul.
guess.
What a cheat.
So good start for me, Jeff.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, Charlie started with the direct hit last week. You started this week, so it's Paul 0, Charlie 2.
Okay, so we alternate on to Charlie for birthday 2.
Okay, it's the cricketer and winner of Strictly, not a winger, winner of Strictly, Mark Ramprakash.
Mark
Ramprakash. Yeah, and he's got a team of people trying to convince people to change their religion. They're very convincing, the Ramprakash converters.
Oh, okay.
He's actually doing his own TV show in the very top of my house.
Oh, is he?
Yes, of course he is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
That's interesting, actually, because I don't know why they do one in the top of your house, to be honest, Jeff. Why is that? I don't really know what that is.
Oh, Beyonce Castle, which doesn't work.
Oh, I'm with you now. I think there was a bit too much assumed knowledge there, to be honest. But
yeah. Well, you know.
Let's not workshop it now, though.
No.
So,
What was the name of the show, Jeff? Sorry, I didn't.
I'm guessing it was Mark Ramprakash in the attic.
Yeah, I did say that.
Oh, did you say? I didn't hear you say that. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
I thought you just assumed we'd get it. So anyway,
Mark in the roof. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. How old is he?
58.
He's not that old, is he? Ramps? He's a very youthful-looking man. 52.
56.
Oh, is he? Wow.
Okay.
He does. He's worn well.
Well.
Yeah.
So, Paul, you are 4 out on that guess. Charlie, 2 out on the guess. So after 2, it is 4 all.
Right. Okay.
Good.
Back to me then.
Okay, she was one of the stars of Absolutely Fabulous. It's Julia Sawala.
Oh, yeah.
Julia Sawala.
Yeah.
And we were working on a film together, actually, when she complained of a slight headache. The director asked me to give her half an aspirin. It was a bit of pill to Sawala.
Ah.
At least I left out Bob Carriage's.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thankfully you did it this time of day. It's me, isn't it? She's probably in the Ramps envelope, isn't she? 55. I'm going to go for.
I'm just going for next year, Andy. One Swahala doesn't make a summer.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're about right, Paul.
What are you going to go with?
54.
57.
Oh, okay.
wow,
Older than
gosh.
Ramps. Okay.
Good in Press Gang. You ever watch Press Gang?
But yeah, Dexter and Fletcher and all that. Yeah.
It's good, wasn't it?
Good stuff.
Written by Stephen Moffat, who went on to.
What about that? Never knew that, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant show. So
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
6, Charlie 7.
6, 7. Okay.
Six,
Back to Charlie then for birthday number 4.
Birthday number 4, the fine singer Michael Bublé.
Oh, yeah.
Bublé.
Jamie Cullum.
Please tell me it's Jamie
Nora
Cullum and
Jones.
Nora Jones' birthday as well.
It is. He actually employed, Michael actually employed Sue to shampoo and hairdry the family. The job seemed to be never ending. After Sue complained, she said, I'm forever blowing Bublés.
Okay,
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Michael Bublé.
Thank you.
We're doing that
Nora
because
Jones.
when Parky came back for his final series, he had them on a roster, didn't he? Called Bublé, Nora Jones, Jamie Cullum,
Katie Melua.
She'd come now and again if they weren't available. She was the fourth wheel.
9 million.
Good old Parky, God bless him. So, our old Michael Bublé.
Bublé is 48.
Yeah, he's got to be about that. I'm going to go 49.
50.
Oh, 50.
Oh, happy birthday,
Big
Mike.
birthday for Michael Bublé.
Big
So,
birthday for
what's that?
Bublé.
What's that done to the scores, Jeff?
Paul 1 out onto 7. Charlie 2 out onto 9. Excellent guessing so far.
good, isn't
Going
it?
quite
Very
well.
good,
We're going to
very
half time with this one. Here we go.
Okay, the fine actor and
Oh,
sorry, Jeff.
I was going to allude to that.
Okay.
The fine actor and director, Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah.
Idris Elba. And after all these years, I still confuse him with the former Swiss defender, Bernd Haas.
Yes, of course you do. Yeah. You don't need to finish that one.
I
off.
don't really know.
Yeah. It's not a Ramprakash in the attic situation.
Although Gareth in Nottingham says, I love Ramprakash on the roof.
Oh, yeah. It's a good show, isn't it?
Great show.
I watch it daytime.
That's one of my favourites.
Daytime telly. Okay.
Thank you, Gareth. Is it me or you, Paul?
It's who is it? It's me. Yeah, sorry.
Who is it? Who was it again? Oh yeah,
it's Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. Yeah.
51. 51.
Older than that, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. 54.
53.
Oh,
so close.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's nip and tuck, isn't it? So where are we at, Jeff?
Incredible work at the halfway stage. Paul 2 out, Charlie 1 out. It's Paul 9, Charlie 10.
I think many of the listeners, they were quite gettable, these ones. I think the listeners will be in the sort of similar vein to us.
Tight game.
Let us know.
That's pretty good, though.
Let us know you're getting on. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. We'll find out how you're faring in the birthday spread and bring you the second half very, very shortly. We're here, of course, with our good friends at Tool Station, standing behind every single tradesperson of Britain. Next stop, Tool Station.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defensive back.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Half-time in the birthday spread. I'm on 9, I'm on 10, but we salute Patrick, who's playing against his brother Eddie today.
Oh, yeah.
He's on 4.
Oh, he's on fire.
Wow. 4, that is amazing.
Yeah,
That's a
very
few
good.
direct hits.
John at Deb's Ironing Shop in Wakefield, of course. He's on 12 in this childish game.
Yep.
Dickie and Beckenham must be easy today, as I'm on 11, usually pushing 50 by the break. Best effort ever on the birthday spread. 6 and 3 direct hits. Emlyn the Posty from Omar, easy to say. Wow, I've scored 0 at half. Simon's cheating.
He is cheating.
3 out of 2. 3 out, 2 direct hits on fire.
Brilliant.
Rob, there we are.
Good work.
Very good.
Well done to everybody. I'm on 9, Charlie's on 10. Here's birthday number 6. Charlie to lead us off.
Okay, here we go. Second half gets underway with the Chief Rabbi of the United Hebrew Congregation of the Commonwealth, Sir Ephraim Mervis.
Yeah.
Sir Ephraim Mervis. He used to be our local rabbi, actually, and had a habit of departing the service as soon as he delivered his sermon. We used to have to stand up and shout, "Mervis has left the building."
I'm sure you'll get in trouble for that with somebody.
I probably
Andy.
will.
Someone will tell you off.
So,
tell you who does a brilliant impression of him. That's Les Dennis.
Oh, does he?
Of Mervis.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, from Coronation,
Yeah,
from Coronation Street. I'd leave.
I'm not
Considering
I was
his
about to do the
considering his role, I would leave that. Let's just move on. So,
Chief Rabbi.
Chief Rabbi. What do you
Only Andy's allowed.
Yeah, only Andy's in the building. What do you think?
Chief Rabbi. Can't imagine they're handing it out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
70.
70. Yeah, I'd say he's probably in that envelope, Charlie. 72.
69.
Oh, wow.
Wrong way, Paul.
Wrong way, Regals. So, scores, Jeff?
Well, Charlie takes the lead for the first time, so he's 1 out to 11. Paul, you're 3 out on to 12.
Wow, what a game.
Ding dong do this, isn't it?
great
Okay,
game.
yeah. On to birthday 7, where
Yeah,
it's
it's getting
me.
a little bit harder now. It's the soprano Carita Matilla. Carita Matilla.
don't remember
She's got a very strange habit, actually, of never singing the words of an aria, just the tune. She's known as Matilla the Hum.
That's very good.
Very good.
That's very good. I suddenly saw.
I was thinking
My
Sopranos.
immediately thought was, who did she play in The Sopranos?
Forget about it.
Yeah, but she's a singer. She's a singer.
You come to me.
What do you? It's me.
You ruin my Carmen.
Okay, you do all the voices.
I got it all. Got
Yeah,
it all.
I'd.
The Queen of the Night.
What's her name? What's her name?
Carita.
Carita what?
Carita Matilla.
Carita Matilla.
Matilla.
Will come Carita would. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'd say
Carita. She didn't even Matilla.
Yeah, not Carita from. We got Mavis from Coronation Street. Now Carita from Coronation Street. They're all in. I mean, everybody works in the cabin.
Carita Matilla.
I'd say she is.
Of Carita
I'm going to go. She could be 40. She could be 80. I'm going to go 60.
Soprano.
60.
Carita Matilla. No idea, but I want to hang around with you. So I'm going to say 64.
65.
Wow, Charlie. That's very good. That was a very volatile one. That we did pretty well, both of us. Jeff.
Yeah, Paul 5 out onto 17. Charlie 1 out for 3 guesses in a row. Is on 12. So Charlie looks at 5 and 3 to go.
Good work. 5 in the lead.
Good, isn't it?
So next up.
It's the jazz guitarist Borelli Legrand.
Oh, yeah.
Borelli Legrand.
Yeah.
He's just asked me to post semi-naked, actually, for a series of photos for his Borelli calendar.
Ah, nice.
I bet I'd look fabulous in
I
that.
bet, yeah, mate, with your trousers
Sell a
falling.
few copies of that.
Seller, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sell a few copies.
Imagine the Andy Jacobs Borelli calendar. You could have guitars strategically placed in front of you, couldn't you? That would work. A bit like when you were at the Spielplatz at the nudist column.
Or a ukulele. I don't know, Andy.
Yeah, or a ukulele. Go on then.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I don't know, Andy.
It's a little
You
bit
mean a
of
cello is what you mean.
It's a real spirit of Roy Hudd in you, isn't there? That's not there's anything wrong with that. He was brilliant.
No idea. Say his name again, Andy, and he's just the jazz
Borelli
guitarist.
Legrand.
Borelli Legrand, yeah.
Borelli the Big.
Green.
Borelli Legrand. How old is he? No idea.
The green.
I mean, you've got to take a shot in the dark. 65. Probably older
I think you've
than
done pretty well there. I might go 61.
59.
Yeah. I did know he was, but jazz guitarist. He's actually playing in He's doing a tour, I think, at the minute.
Is he with Michael Bublé?
No, he's
and
brilliant.
Pirelli Legrand?
He is. I mean, he is ridiculously good guitarist.
Good at the
Anyway,
guitar.
here we go.
Pirelli Legrand.
What's the scores, Jeff?
Paul, 2 out, on to 19. Charlie, 6 out on that, and on to 18. So Charlie,
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unreal spreading.
Back to birthday number 9. Here we go.
It's the biomedical researcher who won a Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine, Professor Shinya Yamanaka. Shinya Yamanaka. And for one of his physiology theories, he had me running on... Seriously, he had me running on a treadmill till I dropped. I was completely Yamanaka.
Okay. Could have been worse.
I thought it was going to be it.
Oh, we go off to the Namayaka's yard. Yeah. That's not right, is it? I did got that wrong. Go on, then.
Yamanaka's yard.
That's it, yeah.
Got injured.
It's me, isn't it?
What happened? I got a shin on me.
He won a Nobel Peace Prize.
He won, and he's a, what is he?
He's a
biologist.
Biomedical
and he won
researcher.
one.
It's me first.
It's you and I'm one.
To go first.
Yeah.
77.
Paul, I reckon. I'm going to go older, 80.
Oh, wrong way wriggle, 63.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So that's the furthest we've been
I
out.
don't mind it.
No,
I don't mind it.
no, that's strategic. That's
I don't
done
mind
you favours.
it. It's good.
What's the scores, Jeff?
Paul, 14 out on that guess, so on to 33.
Yeah.
Charlie, 17 out on the guess, on to 35.
Yeah, I don't mind.
In case you're wondering why Charlie's so
choice.
happy, I have to go first because I have the lowest score on the last birthday.
A choice here, Paul. I can mess it up easily, can't I?
So there's only 2 to play with, so it's not easy. This is very much advantage Charlie at this stage. Final birthday,
Put it in my court now.
Final birthday. The chairman of the Takeover Appeal Board from 2014 to 2023, Sir John Mummery. Sir John Mummery.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that song dedicated to his family by Barbara Streisand. Mummeries.
Wow, that wasn't her, and that was a very bad rendition of it. It was like Harry Seacon.
But it was exactly like Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, it was. I thought she was in the room. When did she ever go, "Come on, Marie"? Spike Milligan or something. It's rubbish.
And it was Elaine Page.
It was Elaine Page. Yeah.
Oh yes, but I prefer the Barbara Streisand.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, of course she sings it like that. I'm surprised.
2 different versions.
Yeah. What was his year? What were his years, Andy?
It was a very good set.
Something 2014 to 20. Barbara doing.
Now come on, Andy.
From the Blue
Please,
Book.
time's running out. What were
2014 to 23.
And she did what? Or was it him?
No, him.
Barbara
Sir
Streisand.
John Mummery.
She opens with two guns in the bar.
76 trombones. 76.
Sir John Mummery.
Yeah.
Retired.
Yeah.
Went in 2023.
Yeah. 76.
Some sort of job that.
Yeah.
You could get older and do, can you? 76.
Yeah.
I think it's a good guess.
It's not a lot of heavy lifting involved in it, no.
Annoyingly good guess.
Not sacks of
potatoes. If I got to get two, so I've got to go three either way.
Yeah.
I'm going to Regals this. I absolutely know it. I'm going to think what I think, and then I'm going to go the opposite.
Okay, go on.
And I think that's probably the best way to go. 79.
He is, in fact, 87.
Bang! Oh! Eat it! Eat it up, Paul.
Well done, Charlie.
Very good game. And particularly good jokes this week.
You liked them, did you?
Very, very good. And Jeff did a really funny thing at the end. Two different versions.
Yeah, right.
So Jeff was good as well. Excellent all round.
Thank you, Jeff.
He loves it.
44-43 final scores. Congratulations,
Charlie. What a game.
Thank you, Andy.
That's your 60th win against Paul.
Yes.
Wow, well done. Big 6-0. Thank you, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Jeff. See you next week. You're back on Saturday with
Saturday
Andy.
morning with Andy, the game day warm-up.
Yeah.
And then Game On Virgin Radio, 2 till 6 Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Barry Glendenning Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then Game On 2 till 6 Sunday afternoon.
Sleeping under the desk here at talkSPORT.
Yeah, I live
Charlie
here now.
Baker.
It's nice.
That's us. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, myself and Andy. Coming up next, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent with Drive.